It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland. So last night, we all watched Tarik Skubal on national television tear up the Twins. He goes 7 innings scoreless, 13 strikeouts, and just dominated in front of a national audience. And it really had me thinking, not last season for the Lions, but the season prior when they started to get a few national television games, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and obviously the Lions have always been on Thanksgiving, but really not just Lions fans, but NFL fans and football fans in general really started to fall in love with the Lions because of their presence on national TV. Now, this is obviously not a dig at Tarik Skubal because he's been really good for much longer than just right now, but it has me wondering, is this maybe the turning point where not just Tigers fans, not just, diehard baseball fans, more of a casual Major League Baseball and baseball fan audience are really going to start to fall in love with Tarik Skubal based off of the dominance that he showed today? We all know about the grittiness that the Tigers showed in last year's playoffs, and now they're following it up this season with being the best team in the American League, tied for the best record in Major League Baseball right now. The emotion and passion that Tarik Skubal shows on the mound, doing it on ESPN last night, just making a statement that he's going for back-to-back Cy Youngs. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
When the summer heat is on, keep your cool with Answer Heating and Cooling. Our expert team specializes in fast, reliable air conditioning repairs, installations, and maintenance. Stay comfortable all season long with top-notch cooling solutions and simply outstanding service. Plus, with financing options and special rebates, cooling your home has never been more affordable. Answer Heating and Cooling, where comfort is our priority. Try our new schedule online option or call us today.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. As a business owner, you might be struggling with today's technological advancements in the IT arena and how they could benefit your growing business. Let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
It's July, it's hot, and Bounce & Bites is bringing the splash. Every bounce house, slide, and inflatable at our event will be soaked and ready for action. Water slides, splash zones, and giant slip and slides. Bring your swimsuits, towels, and sunscreen. We'll have the food trucks, the music, and a whole lot of good vibes. It's free to attend, and every dollar raised helps local kids get involved in sports, music, and more through the Moody Foundation. Join us Sunday, July 20th in Midland. Details at bounceandbites.com. The word bounce, the letter N, the word bites.com. The Moody Foundation, making a splash for a great cause.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Appointment radio across the state.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show. Good morning to the Great Lakes Bay region. Good morning to everyone watching on our YouTube stream as well, or if you're on Facebook. Appreciate you guys just as much. Happy Monday, everyone. We've got a lot to get to today, and it is a fantastic start to the week because yesterday, Sunday Night Baseball, Tarik Skubal, the most dominating fashion you will see in 2025 for a Major League pitcher. This guy just continues to impress. Impress doesn't even do it justice. He continues to stupefy us as Tigers fans. So I was lucky enough to go in attendance yesterday down in Comerica Park, and I'm sitting up on the third baseline. So first of all, that sun, first couple innings, you just needed it to go down just a little bit. Forgot the sunglasses, forgot the hat. Somewhat of a problem. You know what? got to watch Tarik Skubal, so everything was okay. Those first 3 innings, 8 strikeouts through 9 batters faced, it was genuinely laugh out loud good. The people I'm sitting around, every time this guy gets someone to swing and miss and make someone look silly with that changeup, we'd all just start looking around and laughing with each other. Complete strangers, sharing a moment, sharing a bond, because all of us just laid our eyes on Tarik Skubal making another professional baseball player look like an idiot. And then everyone would turn around and look up at the scoreboard and watch the replay of it and realize just how insane this guy was. He was on last night. I'm sure, Kyle, you picked up a lot of things via the broadcast that I wasn't able to pick up, but everyone in the crowd reacting the same way, not cheering, well, obviously cheering, not like jumping up, laughing. That was the reaction of the people that I was around, genuinely stupefied by how good Tarik Skubal was yesterday. 13 Ks, it matches a career high, yet another game where Tarik Skubal gets a standing ovation as he leaves the mound. There had been a couple game stretch, 3 games in a row, where he wasn't like Tarik Skubal, Cy Young, unanimous winner. He was still great. And those expectations for Tarik Skubal are now at such a ridiculous level to where he goes out there and you basically expect these type of performances, or you expect him to have a performance that we get to talk about for the next 4 days. And when he doesn't do that, it almost feels like a little bit of a disappointment because the bar is so high for him. Last night is exactly why the bar is so far for him, because he's capable of doing things that no one else in the American League, or for that matter, Major League Baseball, is capable of doing. This Twins team, I mean, they're feisty. They're nothing special. Byron Buxton's one of those just guys who's just menacing across the field over the course of a 3-game series. He's going to make an impact, and he certainly did. Defensively, in the box, around the base paths earlier in the series. But when you have a guy like Tarik Skubal on the mound, your team genuinely feels unbeatable. They feel invincible when you have a guy going the way that Tarik Skubal was yesterday. And yesterday when he's just dealing all these strikeouts and he gets through 2 and it's like, geez, man, he's already struck out 5 of these guys. The words were thrown around maybe a little bit too early in my section. Heard it after 2 innings. Complete game, no hitter. And usually it's like, dude, you got to relax. We're through 2 innings. We're through 3 innings. But there was that sense in the air. It's Sunday Night Baseball down in Comerica Park. I didn't exactly know what the crowd was like, what to expect with the crowd in terms of pre-gaming and what downtown Detroit was going to be like. My expectations were blown out of the water. You would have thought it was a Saturday night or a Monday night, Thursday night football game. It was jam-packed everywhere you went downtown Detroit. People were tailgating. Like, this was the place to be yesterday in the state of Michigan. And the fact that everyone shows up, walks in, national TV, they're making a really big deal out of that in the in-house show. Tarik Skubal on the mound, the reigning Cy Young winner, the future Cy Young winner for that matter too. No one's gone back-to-back in the American League since 2000. So, like, they're really playing it up for the crowd. Like, hey, this is the nationally televised game. All eyes are on Tarik Skubal tonight. And he delivers. And there was no doubt about it. You knew it right from the beginning when he was in a rhythm early that there was going to be something special happening tonight. The 3 games that I've remembered the most so far this season are the 34 swing and misses, the complete game where he threw under 100 pitches, and that right there yesterday. 13 strikeouts, and it wasn't even like, if there's a way to have a great 13 strikeouts versus a bad 13 strikeouts, Skubal had the great 13 strikeouts because the changeup yesterday, the curveball yesterday, you could, no matter where you were in Comerica Park, you understood how dumb he was making these Twins hitters look. Swinging out of their shoes, knees buckling, their stances, they have no idea what's coming. And even if they do, it just simply doesn't matter. Now, Byron Buxton breaks up the perfect game with a hit. It's the only hit Skubal allowed through 7 innings. Canely, Vest come through and finish it off. you just feel so confident when the Tigers are able to get a run early on in the game. Kerry Carpenter's able to do that with a home run. Riley Green gets a home run a little bit later in the game. His 19th of the season. Team leading 19th of the season. When you have a performance like that from your stars, Skubal, Green, I don't know if Carpenter's necessarily a star, but certainly a fan favorite, your team feels invincible. And when Skubal has that type of performance, like, honestly, my biggest takeaway isn't an analytics thing, isn't an X's and O's thing, isn't a what do the Tigers do at the deadline thing. It's not even a will the Tigers pay Tarik Skubal thing. It is a every 5 days, we are so blessed to watch this demon on the mound, because that's what it felt like yesterday if you were a Twins fan, I bet. I don't know too many Twins fans in my life, but I can't imagine they had as much fun as everyone in Comerica Park watching Tarik Skubal eviscerate this team. Kyle, it was such a great experience at CoPa last night.
That's what I was going to ask you, man. I mean, obviously, I'm watching it on TV, so you got to watch this live in person. But you talk about, everyone getting to watch in Comerica Park, how packed it was, seeing Skubal dominate like that. I mean, it wasn't just everyone in Comerica Park. This was on ESPN. Mm-hmm. This was like the first primetime game for Tarik Skubal this season to show out like this. And he absolutely showed out in the biggest way possible. I think it's good to put on display, how good he truly is, because, I mean, obviously he's the reigning Cy Young, so baseball fans that are tapped in know how good he is. But the casual fan maybe doesn't realize last night was for sure letting everyone know how good he is. And you talk about the every 5 days thing. I mean, the Tigers have won 11 of the last 12 Skubal starts. He has gotten the win in 5 straight. Like, when you think about this team is incapable of going on losing streaks. We saw the 3-game losing streak against Cleveland, the first one since the very first 3 games of the season against the Dodgers. They're incapable of going on losing streaks because Tarik Skubal plays. Like, it's just going to end. If you ever go on a losing streak, okay, well, once Skubal gets back on the mound, it'll end. It's just so nice that they can rely on him every so many days. How was it there, like being there when he gets out of the 7th, gets that 13th strikeout? Like, because I was listening to the radio broadcast at that point, and Dickerson just was going crazy, and it sounded like the place was going nuts.
It was going nuts the whole time, and like all the talk in my section was like, are we thinking no-hitter tonight? Like, what's the record for strikeouts in a single game in this ballpark? What's the record for consecutive strikeouts when he had what he had 6 straight? Like, yeah, or 7. He had 7 straight strikeouts.
It might have been 8 actually.
It was 7. It was 7. So, like, we were all looking up on our phones, like, who has the record in Major League Baseball for the most consecutive strikeouts? What's his career record for strikeouts in a game, which he matched yesterday with the 13? It's not fair to put that sort of expectation on someone, but when he delivers as often as he does with these magnificent Hall of Fame level performances, that's why the expectation's so high. And you want to know what the craziest part about yesterday, Kyle, for me? I'm sitting next to someone, and all of a sudden these 2 guys, older gentlemen, probably 50s or 60s, start talking about this offseason. They have no choice but to trade Tarik Skubal. And I'm like, oh. Here we go again. Bro. Here we go again. There is still a section of Tigers fans out there that do not believe, under any circumstance, that Chris Ilitch is going to pay this guy. And therefore, their logic, these 2 gentlemen that I talked to yesterday, was, well, you have to trade him this offseason then. To which I told them, you cannot be a seller with your best player, not only your best player, but the best player in the league, in an offseason after you just won the division. You can't do that, although Cleveland kind of just did. So if they're unwilling to pay Tarik Skubal now, then they will never be willing to pay anyone. And what is the point of being a Tigers fan? And those guys like understood my point of view on it and basically were like, yeah, but do you think Chris Ilitch was going to pay him? And I said, honestly, I don't know. I can't say with
There's
confidence.
Never been more pressure after last night. Right?
Exactly. But like I was just dumbfounded that there were still people out there that were making the argument we're going to have to trade Tarik Skubal. In the middle of watching what was arguably his best game of the fact that I have to put an arguably in front of that tells you how ridiculous this guy
Right.
has been this season. But the fact that they're watching it with their own eyes, this guy just destroy a Twins team, and as they're watching it in person, they're like, yeah, they might have to trade him this offseason. What are we doing?
How is that the first thought that comes to your head? Like, because I was the trade Skubal guy a year ago, but the fact that that's the first thought that comes to your head when you're in person watching him dominate, it's kind of like a negative Nancy approach to life, right?
It a little bit is. 989-837-6125. Tarik Skubal, an epic performance last night. We'll keep that rolling. We're going to have Dillon Clark on from the Saginaw Spirit, voice of the Saginaw Spirit, because he was in Las Vegas for the NHL draft. That's coming up at 9:30. Obviously, Michael Misa, former Saginaw Spirit, current Saginaw Spirit player, goes number 2 in that draft. So we're going to have Dillon on to kind of explain what that was like over in Las Vegas. I haven't talked to him yet, so this is going to be fun. In the 10 o'clock hour, hey, NBA free agency, that starts today. And the Pistons, well, they might have to change their plans based on some gambling news that we found out about Malik Beasley this weekend. We've got an Around the League coming up. Obviously, our Monday morning stock exchange, as always. Stay tuned, guys. It is the Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll be right back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Mary Draves, former Dow executive and leader in the Midland community.
I think as we get a little bit older, we start to care less about what other people think.
That's really a great point, yeah.
And so as I've gotten older, I think I've become way more comfortable in who I am, what I stand for. And, when you get to that point, all of a sudden, you become less apologetic about who you are. You also, you're like, hey, this is me, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And I think in my 20s versus maybe I'm in my 50s now, it's a very different person. And that's just really part of the continuum of growth.
Listen to the full interview with Mary on 100.9 The Mitt's YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
At Tommy's Express, you can get your car clean, shiny and dry in just minutes. Our state-of-the-art eco-friendly wash delivers a spotless finish every time. With the Tommy Club app, enjoy unlimited washes or paper wash. Skip the line with license plate recognition and manage everything right from your phone. Fast, clean, and simple. Visit Tommy's Express today and see the difference. Text Clean Car to 86697 for a free works wash.
Offer valid for new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
Something is amiss at Dow Diamond. The award-winning True Crime Night returns for the Great Lakes Loons on Thursday, July 10th. And this time, our beloved golden bobblehead is missing. It's an evening filled with suspense and intrigue. Join the investigation to uncover the mystery and help solve the case of who framed Lou E. Loon. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in. Ben Bosscher Show live on a Monday. We are about 12 hours removed from watching Tarik Skubal, arguably his greatest game of the season. The fact that I got to throw an arguably in front of that, Kyle, tells you how ridiculous Tarik Skubal has been this season. Which one has been your favorite? The 13 Ks, the 34 swing and miss, or the Maddox Bruns complete game? Because all three of those, you can make the argument, best game of the season.
The 34 swing and miss one was the first one that happened, and that one kind of, I don't know, that one was just crazy. I listened to that whole game on the radio, and I don't know, I get a different vibe when I listen to the radio broadcast. I get, hyped up because I can't really see, so I'm just reacting to the crowd freaking out and everything.
It's
but it's
the
gotta
visualization
be the
part of it, right? That's why radio is so great. You get to visualize it on your own.
Exactly. It's the Maddox, though. Especially because they were coming off of the 3-game losing streak to Cleveland. That game was kind of a national presence, the Roku game or whatever. That was definitely my favorite one. Especially because he never goes longer than 7, it's always been his thing. But
yesterday only goes 7, but somehow it manages with 13 strikeouts. It was only a 2.5-hour game, if that, because the game went by so fast because Skubal consistently was getting up in counts. Even when he wasn't, I think there was a 3-0 count at one point, and he just worked his way back in, said, try to hit this stuff. You just can't do it with Skubal on the mound.
And yesterday, the fact that he gave AJ Hinch a hug after, obviously it's always you watch for the handshake or the fist bump to see if he's staying out or coming back in. And he just gives him a hug.
I didn't know
cool.
this.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Did they give any sort of explanation? Was he emotional coming off the mound?
I think it was just because
it was done.
You rock. I think that's just all it was. Because obviously there was the big, round of applause for him coming out of the game, and he kind of fed into it with the crowd a little bit. So he was probably at an emotional high right there, and AJ Hinch just kind of fed into it.
He's such a pleasure to watch, man. With him on the mound, you could just feel the juice, the electricity in Comerica Park right from the jump. And when he started K-ing guys in the first and second inning, you just kind of assumed you were in for a good night. Sunday night, ESPN, Skubal's, there was no other circumstance. There was no other outcome to that game in which Skubal isn't dominant from the start. And that's exactly what he was yesterday in front of an electric Comerica Park crowd. I just can't believe we still have to have the conversations revolving around whether or not the Tigers are going to pay him. And I didn't expect to have that conversation today. I don't want to really dive into it right now at all because, Skubal was so fantastic yesterday. I kind of just want to enjoy the moment. And the fact that I'm sitting next to two guys who basically lean over and are like, yeah, they're going to have to trade this guy. It just reminded me of the fact that, that is a real thing happening in the near future. In the next year, they're going to have to make some big decisions here, a year and a half, really. I just was reminded of it in a, I don't want to say a negative way, but just reminded of it that there are still people out there that kind of just assume that this is only going to last for another year and a half. I'd like to go to bed at night thinking that this is going to last forever, but as I've stated before, I have a lot more confidence Riley Green's going to be a Tiger for life than I do Skubal's going to be a Tiger for life. This is going to be a $400 million player. This is going to be the best pitcher in baseball. And if you're thinking he's going to take some sort of pay cut, I promise you that is just not happening. I hear that one too many times about the guys that play in Detroit. Oh, he's just such a good guy. He loves the city. Nobody's taking a pay cut. Nobody. So, yes, all of us are aware of how expensive Tarik Skubal is going to cost. But if the Tigers aren't willing to pay him right now, when the team is thriving and in position to go to a World Series for the next couple of seasons, then they're never going to be willing to pay anybody. And I don't know if I can continue to be a diehard Tigers fan, because I know I'm doing the radio thing, kind of try to evaluate the team as unbiasedly as possible. But at the end of the day, we're fans. I think that's totally okay. If they are unable to land Tarik Skubal long term, and if in a year and a half he is not a Detroit Tiger, I legitimately don't know if I can be a fan of this team anymore. Because they told me straight to my face, we don't care about winning as much as some other things revolving around this baseball team. So we'll monitor that, obviously, over the next year and a half. I don't really want to dive into it anymore. So let's just not do that. Let's just enjoy the game. What's the point?
Yeah, he's pitching really good. Let's talk about that.
It was a good crowd yesterday, Comerica Park. All right, 989-837-6125. Let's hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Okay, Ben.
Okay,
let's
Kyle.
Put a wrap on what we were doing last week, right? The Dow Championship finished up last night.
Oh,
boy. What a dramatic finish.
So
a killer for Ben.
So I had the bet that Lexi Thompson and Kang were going to come out on top, and they had a killer final day of the tournament to the point where, so I went and played Topgolf before, which I have some takes on that later, before the Tigers game. So I'm hitting into the net, and the entire net is just the LPGA tournament or the Dow Championship. So I'm hitting golf balls while watching golf. Is like the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have gone to the Tigers game and I should have gone back to the Dow Championship to watch the final day because it was that electric of a championship Sunday with Thompson and Kang, and then the winning team going back and forth and back and forth. Just phenomenal golf here in Midland this weekend. I cut you off. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say how it did end. Somi Lee and Jin Hee Im ended up winning of South Korea. And it was a really good playoff hole. Lexi Thompson because they replayed 18, they go back to the alternate shot format. And Lexi puts one 5 feet, but then Somi Lee drills a deep putt to put the pressure on to hit birdie. And Megan Kang just misses the 5-footer. So would have been Lexi's first LPGA Tour win in 6 years, but it falls just short.
6 years? She's only like 29.
Yeah.
It's been okay.
I know, it's been a while since pre-COVID. Pretty wild. Then we also had another golf outing on the PGA side of things this week in Michigan as well, the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Aldrich Potgieter won. We talked about crazy electric playoff holes. This one went 5 playoff holes.
Really?
Yeah, unreal.
I didn't catch any of this one.
Yeah, first PGA Tour win. He's just 20 years old, Ben. It's always when you see stuff like that, it makes you feel a little bad, right? Like, man,
just
he's
makes me
20
wish
doing that.
Imagine if I would have been getting lessons since I was 5.
Right, yes.
That's what I always think about.
All right, I know we're going to dive into this a little bit later, but obviously this is big news, so we got to mention it here. Malik Beasley of the Detroit Pistons, currently a free agent, though, is under investigation of the U.S. Attorney's Office into allegations on potential gambling on NBA games and player props. This is from the 2023-2024 season. Not being accused or convicted of anything, currently just under investigation.
Stupid. So stupid if this is actually true. There's so much evidence that this will come back to bite you in the butt. And anyone that has tried to get away with this, it has not worked. If this is true,
these guys make so much more money than what they're gambling on and what they're winning off of gambling. He was just about to sign a $42 million contract with the Pistons, man.
Not anymore. Not anymore. He's not getting that contract today, I can tell you that. Until this thing is all said and done, I would be shocked if a team signed him. He's cost himself a lot of money. A lot. Stupid.
Very stupid. We have a big round of NBA free agency news, but let's just talk about the main one right now. LeBron James opts into his $52 million player option. This isn't typical LeBron James stuff, Ben. Usually he opts out, signs for more money, long-term deal. Does this mean last year for LeBron?
Potentially. I'm going to cry the day he retires, man. For real.
I'm already sad just thinking about it.
Yeah, no, you're like bumming me out right now. I can't imagine, like,
it's brutal.
I know there's some like people out there listening, like, seriously, like you're gonna cry. I've never watched an NBA without King James in it. I've never known an NBA without LeBron James. Like, that's my guy. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to be a wreck the day that this guy retires. It feels like it's in the horizon, you know. This could be the last year. Does. It feels like there's definitely a trade possibility here this season with that contract that he opted into. Very, very tradable contract. So we'll see what happens here. Should be a good ending for Mr. James. It'll be entertaining.
Oh, it absolutely will be.
I don't know if it'll end with a ring, but they'll certainly be talking points this season.
Yeah. All right, let's end the news. Obviously, we have some NHL draft talk coming up. Well, the Red Wings this weekend, they drafted left wing Carter Bear, 13th overall, and then also made a trade this weekend, acquiring goalie John Gibson from the Anaheim Ducks.
I'll save this for later. I just want to say this for now. Good move by Steve Yzerman on that trade.
Wow, is that the first time those words have been uttered on this show?
I'll dive into that a little bit more later. 989-837-6125. We'll get to some Mitt messages in a little bit, but we've got Dillon Clark of the Saginaw Spirit, voice of the Saginaw Spirit, coming up next. He was in Las Vegas for the NHL draft. He witnessed Michael Misa be taken second overall. Let's get his thoughts next here on the Ben Bosscher Show. Before we go, I got to tell you about our friends over at Ace Hardware and Sports, though. Locally owned and proudly family operated right here in the heart of Midland. Take advantage of the $3 off Ortho Weed Killer, proven power to take your yard back, or go bigger with $10 off Spruce Weed and Grass Killer. Tough on the weeds and easy on your wallet. Visit them on East Main Street in downtown Midland, right where local service meets big-time savings. Plus, you can pick up a donut. Supporting your yard and your community all in one stop. That is Ace Hardware and Sports. We'll be right back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Last week, the Loons were in Fort Wayne, Indiana, taking on the Tin Caps, and the long ball was flying out of Parkview Field. The Loons hit 6 home runs in 6 games, including a spectacular Sunday performance from Frank Rodriguez. Had a 5-ribby, 3-hit game, including a grand slam in the 8th. 2-1. Rodriguez swings. Hard hit to deep left. Campbell gives it a look, but that is out of here. Grand slam for Efrod. Man, oh man. Demolished 406. 105 off the bat, and he has made the most of his opportunities here this year in the Midwest League. That cushion completely deflated. Tuesday night, it's Loons and Whitecaps in Comstock Park, Michigan. Join us at 6:20 p.m.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Logan Snyder from Bullet Creek High School. With a 3.94 GPA, Logan's a member of the varsity golf team, revitalizing a program that was dormant when he was a freshman 4 years ago. Logan great at golf and in the classroom, and also volunteers, including at the Midland Miracle Field.
I love working with those kids, and it's always so much fun to see them getting to play the game we all get to love to play. Just getting to see them going up to bat, hitting the ball, no matter how far it goes, and they're just super excited. It just warms my heart every time.
Logan will be attending Ferris State in the fall and plans to study in their PGA Golf Management program. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themid.com.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
Celebrate 4th of July with the Great Lakes Loons. Join us for our block party on Main, presented by the Michigan Army National Guard. Celebrate America's independence with face painting, balloon animals, the inflatable zone on the front lawn, and of course, America's pastime. The evening wraps up with a spectacular fireworks Loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. For tickets, visit loons.com. This isn't just baseball. It's the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Michigan. This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in. The Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. We used to have this guest on the payoff all the time during the Saginaw Spirit season. Now, the first time he's joining the Ben Bosscher Show, it's Dillon Clark of the Saginaw Spirit, voice of the Saginaw Spirit, who was in Vegas this past. Wait, are you back from Vegas? Are you back here in Michigan now?
I'm back. I'm in my office right now. We got back yesterday. I don't know. Probably got home around 6:30. We had to get up for our flight at 4:00 LA time. It was in Los Angeles this year. Vegas last year. Los
Vegas
Angeles
last
this
year. Yeah, I don't know.
I know what a run. What a run I've been on the last 2 summers. It was a once in a lifetime experience, man. It was so much fun.
Well, let's dive into it, man. How many days were you there? When did you show up?
So we got there on the Thursday. First day of the draft was Friday. Second day, obviously Saturday, and we came back on Sunday. Didn't get to do much on Thursday. There were some events going on, but just with our timing and everything, we didn't get to see Michael that day. What we did get to do was on the day of the draft, the top prospects, they go in and they do a skate with some of the local kids. Some of the NHL folks were there. The name of their organization escapes me right now, but it was Ryan Reeves, PK Subban, George LaRocque. You can kind of go on and on down the line. They were on with those guys, and some of the local kids at the Kings practice facility. So, we get to go in, I just went in. I said, hey to Mike, and I said, hey, can I throw this microphone on you? He goes, yeah, go for it. And we got some great stuff following him around. He had fun. All the other prospects were fun. And it was cool because, he was sitting in a locker room stall next to Matthew Schaefer. Porter Martone was sitting a couple of guys down. Jake O'Brien from Brantford was in that dressing room with them. And of course, some of the NHL guys, that I watched growing up, like PK Subban and Ryan Reeves, were sitting on the other side of the wall as well. But it was cool because, I've called and I've gotten to see a lot of Martone and Schaefer and O'Brien playing, but that was the first time I actually got to kind of talk to those guys in person and, see Michael interact with them. That was a great time. I know the kids had a ton of fun. They were signing jerseys after. We went back after that was done, caught up with Michael at his hotel, much like we did with Zane Parekh last year at his draft in Las Vegas. Got to go up into the room, got to see the draft suit, got to talk with his family. ESPN was in there throwing a microphone on Michael for the draft as well. Kind of got the rundown of his draft suit. The guys all do the special suit liners. His was top notch, man. He's got pictures of himself lifting the Memorial Cup, pictures of his family on the other side. Underneath the lapel on his suit jacket, if you flip it up, it says "Welcome to the show," which is just like the little details like that, man. It's like, yeah, we're at not only are we at the NHL draft, we're sitting in the room with. I was hoping and figuring he would go second overall to the Sharks, and that's what ended up happening. But after we got to spend that time with him, it was over to the Peacock Theater. They did a red carpet event, which was cool. Wasn't quite as hot as Vegas was last year, but it was a little toasty out there. I was having a hard time. Camera was getting a little overheated too, but we made it work. And then it was in, and once the draft started. It kind of came up on you pretty quickly. Matthew Schaefer went first overall to the Islanders, and just to touch on Schaefer briefly, the things that he's been through, the kind of hockey player he is, the kind of human being that he is. It's all the things that you hear about and you read about. It's true. Just getting that brief time to talk with him in person. He's a heck of a kid. They all are. But I just wanted to confirm all the things that people have said about Matthew Schaefer in the last little while. He's the real deal, man. But seeing him go and get emotional on the stage was an experience. And then right after that, the Sharks called Michael Misa's name, and I was up on the mezzanine level. I kind of poked my head in from the media workroom area just to kind of get that full arena shot. Our director of social media, Emma Miller, she was in the building too, getting some shots as well. But getting that shot of the Sharks calling Michael's name, and then seeing him go up there, and after he gets hugs from his family, I myself was getting a little bit choked up. I mean, this is a kid. I still remember first time I ever met him, because I joined the team late. in the 22-23 season. That was his rookie year. He came back from U17s and met up with us when we were in Niagara. That was my first legit road trip with the team. I hear this knock on the hotel door. I was sharing it with one of our assistant coaches. I hear the knock on my hotel room door. Open it up, and I'd heard all about Michael, and there he's standing there. He was still 15 at the time, and he goes, "Can you hand my passport to JP?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, no problem." I said, "I'm Dillon, by the way." He goes, "Hi, I'm Michael." Like, that was it. That was first interaction with him. But that's what I'm thinking of him now. It seems like it was yesterday, and I'm watching him walk up on stage, pick up a Sharks jersey, and shake Gary Bettman's hand. It was a heck of an experience, man.
Well, I feel like since we've been doing, radio spots together since all the way back in October, we've kind of not known, but it's been indicated that he was going to go second overall for a long time. And we didn't know what team was going to have that second overall pick. I was going to ask you the moment what it was like when you heard him walk up there, but I think you laid that out perfectly. So yeah. in terms of the Sharks, how do you see that being a good fit or not a good fit for Misa? Like, he gets drafted there. What's your initial reaction? I mean, not necessarily like at the draft, but when you find out the Sharks are going to have the second pick and it's like, yeah, all the mock drafts for months have been saying that Misa is going to be the second guy off the board. How do you like that fit for Misa, both on and off the ice?
I love it for him. I don't know. As I've told you in the last 4 years since I started working in hockey, at the minor pro level and here in the OHL, the amount that I'm able to watch and focus on the NHL has gone down compared to when I was just a fan. But from what I've seen from the Sharks, I mean, you look at all the young names they've got. You've seen what Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith have done this year. They've got a lot of young players. They got a lot of really young guys that are coming up. Like, they have been rebuilding. I don't know, no fan base wants to hear the word rebuild, but they did it. They've been doing it, and it's paying off because they've got all these young prospects now. They've got Sam Dickinson on the back end from the London Knights, and as much as Spirit fans probably don't like Sam Dickinson, I have a feeling that in a couple of years, when you see Dickinson and Misa quarterbacking power play one for the San Jose Sharks, you're going to be like, all right, yeah, this Dickinson kid, he's not so bad. They have Igor Chernyshov, which he's probably going to start the year in AHL San Jose with the Barracuda next season. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Misa and Chernyshov get reunited at some point in that Sharks system. They've got Ethan Cardwell, who's a Spirit alumni as well, and they got Braden Hashe too in their system as well. So there are a lot of familiar faces already in that Sharks organization, and not that that's the end all be all. If there was nobody that Michael knew in that organization, it'd still be fine. It wouldn't be a big deal at all. But because of that, those are extra little reasons why it's a good fit for him, and such an exciting move, such an exciting result. I got while we were excuse me,
you're good.
While we were waiting for Michael to show up to the backstage podium to do the post draft interview, I felt my phone buzz, and it was Braden Hashe, all caps, new roommate, and I just started dying. I was like, dude, I'm waiting for him right now. And he goes, dude, I jumped up and screamed when I saw it. He was watching from home. So it's so much excitement from all over, really all over North America, all over the world watching this. It was a heck of an experience, and I think it's a great fit for him. You look at the guys on their roster, a lot of 2006, 2000, 2002, 2004 birth years. So young guys, and they're all going to get to come up at the same time together.
I feel like every time we do one of these spots together, I learn something that I probably should have known already about the NHL prospect system and how complex it really is. I think last time we had talked, you had told me even after he gets drafted, or anybody gets drafted, there's still an opportunity to come back and play for the Spirit. Have we seen the last of Michael Misa in a Spirit uniform?
It really, I wish I had an answer for you. And I wish, I try to put myself in the shoes of a fan, because I mean, let's face it, this is the greatest player that we've seen come through this organization. I think certainly one of them, if not the one. You want to know, is he going to come back next year? And there are a lot of factors in play. Ultimately, it comes down to what the Sharks want to do. Like I said, they have a lot of young talent. One of the factors in it, though, is that they call it the O or the show rule. Michael's going to be 18, turning 19 next year. And with the current agreement between the CHL and the NHL, players that age, they've got to be in the NHL, they got to be in the OHL. They can't send him to the American League, San Jose Barracuda, with Chernyshov and with Braden Hache because of Michael's age. So it'll be one or the other. He's said his goal is to make the NHL and start with the Sharks next year. And I don't think that comes as a surprise to anybody. I don't think, there's anyone that thinks he can't do it. It's one of those things. It's like, selfishly, I would like to see Michael Misa in Saginaw next year. Just, to see him again as a person and to watch him play. And I'd say he probably helped this hockey team win its fair share of games. But also, he's had 3 fantastic years here, unforgettable years, helped this team win a Memorial Cup, was the rookie of the year, delivered on all the hype and then some. It's 3 years that, I'm certainly grateful for, and I know Spirit fans are as well. But it's not out of the realm of possibility. Another important factor is the entry-level slide, they call it. You can play the first 9 years. Michael hasn't signed his entry-level contract, I believe, not as of this morning. Be willing to bet it's coming pretty soon since he's the second overall pick. But that'll be a 3-year contract. So if he plays 9 games or fewer with the Sharks next year, and they return him to Saginaw, that wouldn't engage the first year of his contract. The first year would slide to next season. Now, if he crosses that game threshold, first year of his contract kicks in. That's year 1 of 3, and they can still send him down after that, but they would have already technically burned, quote unquote, that first year of his contract. So it could happen. What we see a lot of times, the example I point to for OHL fans is Jet Luchenko last year of the Guelph Storm. Spent 7 games with the Flyers. Really, important development for him. Great experience. They say, okay, we want you to go back to Guelph and kind of dominate and be the man down there. And he was. So that could be a situation that we see. I would be shocked if Michael didn't make the World Junior team this upcoming season. I mean, we've seen what he can do. We saw just how upset Canadian fans were that, Michael didn't get a sniff last year. I know that's something that he's been waiting to do for a long time. So I think there's a scenario where, is there a scenario where he sticks with the Sharks for the full year? Yeah, absolutely. He's a great hockey player. Is there a scenario where he comes back to Saginaw? Yeah, absolutely. He's a young hockey player. So there could be one where he spends some time with the Sharks, comes back to Saginaw for a bit, goes to World Juniors and comes back. Do we see 40-ish games of Michael Misa? That's certainly in the cards. But, like I said, to make a long answer longer, there are a lot of things that could happen. It could go either way, and nothing would really surprise me at this point.
I'm not sure it'd be fair for everybody else in the OHL if Michael Misa returned for another season. With how good he was last year, it's like, how much better could this guy even be? And I feel like the answer is, well, we might find out what the answer is there. Dillon Clark, voice of the Saginaw Spirit. Glad you enjoyed your time in Los Angeles, not Las Vegas, in Los Angeles. We'll keep in touch, man, because we got to continue following this story, and obviously the Spirit not too far away from starting their season. So once again, Dillon Clark, Saginaw Spirit, thanks for joining us here on the Ben Bosscher Show.
Ben, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you having me on, and congrats on the new show here. It's been exciting. Appreciate that.
All right, there he goes, Dillon Clark, voice of the Saginaw Spirit. Always doing great stuff over there. Because man, what a story to follow with Michael Misa. This has been such an incredible journey for a guy that we've got to watch grow up right in front of our eyes here in the Great Lakes Bay region. So that's been such a pleasant story to cover and talk about, and the fact that he goes second overall. Not that it was a surprise, but such a payoff for all the Spirit fans that have been watching him over the past couple of years. 989-837-6125. We'll get to some Mitt messages when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
Discover championship golf with amazing views at Apple Mountain in Freeland. Whether you're chasing birdies or just out for a relaxing round, Apple Mountain offers a stunning 18-hole experience for every skill level. Perfect greens, scenic fairways, and a course that plays as beautifully as it looks. Book your tee time now at applemountain.com. Apple Mountain. Golf elevated. Just minutes from Saginaw, but miles from the ordinary.
Wackadoo! Bluey and her little sister Bingo are joining the Great Lakes Loons again this summer for Red, White, and Bluey Weekend presented by My Michigan How. It's 2 games of fun, laughter, and memories with our favorite Blue healer. Whether it's Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, don't miss out. For tickets, visit loons.com. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman Night at Dow Diamond on Saturday, July 12th. The first 1,000 fans through the gates will receive an exclusive Super Lou E bobblehead courtesy of My Michigan Health. Create a lasting memory after the game as you take in Fireworks Loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Don't miss this super night of fun. Get your tickets at loons.com. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation, that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit. Because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
989-837-6125. My bad there, Kyle. We've got a couple Mitt messages, so let's get to those right there. Matt DeVries chiming in. This is regarding Skubal. It's because we're all scared that they aren't going to pay him. Our favorite team is finally good again, and the best thing we've had since Verlander is going to be taken away. Are we going down that rabbit hole today? I didn't really want to do it. I kind of just wanted to enjoy the game, enjoy the performance from yesterday. But if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. Because
no one wants to do it, though.
I don't know if that's true. Because here's the thing, man. Like it's always going to be in the back of your head. It's all these great performances, and then it's just going to be followed up by but until he gets signed to an extension. So I'm just like another year and a half of this has to live in the back of your head.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. This could just be a me thing, but haven't we come to the agreement that he's just not going to get extended? Like we're moving past that.
I don't think he's gonna. Well, when you say extended, do you mean like this season, or do you
like
mean
he will not be paid prior to him hitting the open market?
No, I think he'll hit the open market. I do think the Tigers can.
Not saying that the
re-sign
Tigers
him,
won't pay him. Yeah, he won't re-sign with the Tigers while he's a free agent. But at this point, it makes no sense for him to re-sign. This isn't even a Tigers thing.
No. And Scott, even if he wanted to re-sign right now, I don't think Scott Boras would let him do it. Like, seriously.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes no sense for him.
Dwayne from Bay City says, I'm going to make this quick. Tigers fans have waited for a return to winning for a long time. If we don't make Skubal a lifetime Tiger, I will never watch the Tigers again. Chris Ilitch will be hated for life. Yeah, I echo that last part. The funny thing, these two guys that I ended up talking to at the game that were like, they're going to have to trade Skubal this offseason. I would have loved to have a video of my facial reaction after they said that out loud, watching them, because I was like, I looked at them like they were crazy. And then for you to say that while you're watching him, I just thought was somewhat bizarre. I ended up wrapping up the conversation because I just wanted it to be over. I was like, he was like, well, what happens if he gets to free agency and then he just walks? I was like, then I tie myself to Comerica Park and light myself on fire. Like, I don't know. Like, we all hate Chris Ilitch forever if that's the case. There's no other circumstance. If they do not get Skubal in the building, I'd rather them. I was going to say I'd rather them lose Skubal for nothing and try their best than trade him, obviously. But if they were to just not sign him and he gets to free agency and ends up signing elsewhere, I don't know if I can get myself to be a Tigers fan from that point forward. You know what I mean? It's like they just openly tell you, it's like, our winning's not our priority. We're not willing to spend the money to win.
It'd be different if the Tigers weren't good. If this team was 500 like a year ago, trading Skubal actually makes sense. I would be pleading for them to do it. I was a year ago. They're the best team in baseball, though. They have a clear shot to at least contend for a World Series.
If you're not going to do it now, and I don't mean now as in like today, tomorrow, extend him. I mean now with how good your team is, then you are never going to do it. And then I asked the question, what is the point of owning the team if winning's not your
When you
top
say
priority?
never going to do it, you mean never, like World Series, right?
I just mean this is the best, like the next few seasons is the best opportunity the Tigers are going to have to win a World Series. Although I say that, but like the sustained organizational success that they have built from their farm system too makes me think, hey, maybe there's a chance that the Tigers are going to be a perennial playoff team here for the next 5 seasons. I don't like projecting anything beyond that. And honestly, it's scary to even project 5 years into the future, but it's just a healthy organization right now from top to bottom. And I don't even mean it's loaded with prospects. It is. But the development of guys is outrageous at this moment in time. It's like one guy struggles for 2 weeks. It's like someone's there to take his spot. If I would have told you Trey Sweeney was going to get sent down at some point this season, would you have believed me at the beginning of the season?
Yeah. But only because of all the injuries. I get what you're trying to say.
But like anytime someone struggles, if you struggle for a month, there will be someone to come and take your place. The development of these guys is off the, like even a Colt Keith, disaster at third base a couple of weeks ago. Much improved now. You know what I mean? It's like Andy Ibanez, not really hitting against the lefties anymore. Welcome Jahmai Jones. Like they just find these guys and everyone's just grinding to get better every single day. It's just a healthy organization from the top down right now. And if they lose out on Skubal, it just ruins all of it. You know what I mean?
It does. And it doesn't, the sustained success thing with the prospects, none of that's a guarantee. What is a guarantee is the Tigers win when Tarik Skubal pitches. You know?
Well put. 989-837-6125. We'll get to some morning Mitt messages here in a little because you guys have been killing it lately. So I do want to hit on NBA free agency, though, because the Pistons, well, their plan got a little wrench thrown into it yesterday. 989-837-6125. We'll be right back. Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt.
Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
The new rebranded Matt Smith Modern Realty.
Well, Matt Smith Outdoors was really reflective of how I started my real estate journey, taking my outdoor experience, moving that into the real estate space to help people buy and sell land. So many people in this region ended up calling me and wanting me to work with them to help them buy and sell homes. This new brand was more reflective of what I'm delivering to people in this region every day.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5, that's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit midlandfoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at midlandfoundation.org.
Something happens when we can't be our true selves. You can hear it in our laughs. There's the half-hearted chuckle. The courtesy conference caller.
Yeah, great.
And of course, the I'm only laughing because I'm dating your daughter.
Oh, that's so true.
If you want to laugh for real, try having some Miller Lite with some friends. It works. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin beer.
Celebrate 4th of July with the Great Lakes Loons. Join us for our block party on Main, presented by the Michigan Army National Guard. Celebrate America's independence with face painting, balloon animals, the inflatable zone on the front lawn, and of course, America's pastime. The evening wraps up with a spectacular fireworks loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. For tickets, visit loons.com. This isn't just baseball. It's the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
10 o'clock hour. Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt. We've already talked to Dillon Clark of the Saginaw Spirit, voice of the Spirit, because Michael Misa got drafted second overall in the NHL draft in Los Angeles this past weekend. So if you want to hear that after the show, or if you're listening on YouTube, you can rewind it right now. But if you're in your car, you guys can just search the Ben Bosscher Show right after noon, and you should be able to pull that up as a podcast a little bit later on. If you're on YouTube and you haven't subscribed already, come on, what are you doing? Help us out. So, Kyle, before we jump into this Pistons conversation thing, because, man, I'm stuttering over my words because I'm kind of just dumbfounded of the situation that the Pistons and Malik Beasley have found themselves in. But before we get to that, let's just put a pin on that in just a second. We were supposed to go golfing this weekend, and we did not. I was just going to ask you if you ended up getting to the course, because you and I had basically had a fever to golf
Yes.
The entire time we were at the Dow Championship, Wednesday,
how can you not when
Thursday,
you're there?
Friday, and Saturday. Did you make it back over the weekend?
I did not. No, I went to Grand Rapids this weekend. Thought I would maybe come back Sunday, and I just didn't really get back into town in time and had some stuff to do, so I just didn't. I did play golf Sunday night, though, prior to Tarik Skubal starting. So I was kind of watching the Dow Championship finish out as I was playing. Played terrible. Like, I had this itch to play, and I played so much worse than the last time that I played. I know in general I play worse anyways, but yeah, it was really bad.
I think I had the best 2 practice range sessions of my entire life over the weekend. And the Top Golf, I've got some Top Golf takes later for Stock Exchange. Top Golf, in terms of fixing your swing, all those little mini games, because you just stop thinking about, like, when I go to the practice range here, all I'm trying to do is murder the ball. And when you actually have to just, like, slow your swing down, aim for the Angry Birds, and try to destroy all the pigs, I felt like I got way better and little did I know that those little golf balls are juiced to go a little bit further. I was very disappointed when I found that out.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I was like,
oh, you thought you were crushing.
I hit one 225 right into the back of the net. The first swing of the day. Dead center, 225 feet, hit the back net. My jaw was on the floor. I was like, oh my God. I need to buy a new $500 driver right now to improve my golf game.
Right, yes. That's exactly what you need to do.
And then I found out the balls are a little bit juiced to fly off the heads a little bit further. And I was like, oh, I didn't need to know that. Could have gone my whole life.
Just get those
without
golf balls for when you play.
That's not a bad idea. All right, back to the Pistons thing. So for those who don't know, Malik Beasley, the guy who finished with 318 made threes last year. Top 10 all time. One of the best sixth-man performances the NBA has ever seen. And somehow he didn't win the award. He is under investigation for something he did in 2023-2024, that season that he spent with Milwaukee. Before he was a Piston, there's a game that they are circling, that they are monitoring, even this long after it happened, that there was some weird action on his over-under in terms of total rebounds. So he's under investigation for what happened here. Did you purposely try to get an over-under? Do you get some sort of payment on this? We don't really know. I don't want to speculate. But anytime someone's involved in this, it's usually not a good scenario. And the timing of when this news breaks, the day before free agency, when all these extensions are coming out, let's face it, free agency basically started yesterday. It doesn't start until 6 p.m. tonight, but you start getting Shams notifications, who's going where, what things are going to happen. We got some trades over the weekend. Lonzo Ball's of Chicago, not in Chicago anymore. Like, movement's happening across the league. And we get this bomb dropped onto us as Pistons fans that Malik Beasley's under investigation for gambling issues. You're not going to re-sign someone who's currently under investigation for anything related to the gambling thing. The NBA is so afraid of this stuff that if Malik Beasley does end up being associated with this, don't be surprised if this dude never plays an NBA game again. They are so afraid of the integrity of the game being ruined by the gambling that it should be a no-nonsense clause in the NBA. In the MLB, well, you can just sweep it under the rug. We've kind of learned that. So
NFL, though, too.
NFL, you get like your little suspensions, and then you come right back. The NBA cannot let this be a lingering issue. I think if he did it, get rid of him and never allow him to play in the NBA again. If they can find some real hardcore evidence that he purposely swung one bet one way or the other. But that's not even where I want to hit on this. Like, I guess my final thoughts on that are, Malik Beasley, if you did this, you're stupid. And I loved everything about you last season, all the vibes you brought, the positive energy you brought, the mentorship over the young guys, all that, throw it out the window if you're going to be guilty of this. Like, not a good look, man. Not a good look. But as for the Pistons, if they're going to lose their lights-out three-point shooter, the guy who shoots with more confidence than anyone since, well, like, for non-Steph Curry players, since Klay Thompson, if we're being honest, if they're losing out on that guy, you have to start looking elsewhere. They've already drafted someone who's considered themselves, and everyone in the draft prospect world considers a lights-out shooter in Chaz Lanier. You're going to need to add another one of those guys. And now I'm looking at the list of free agents. Everyone always wants to know who's the biggest guy, who's the top-notch star. Pistons aren't going to be getting any of those guys. There's also not a lot of them this year. But there is one name that comes to mind that I think would be a perfect fit for the Pistons, and that would be Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's cousin. Nickeil Alexander-Walker last season for Minnesota shot 42% from behind the arc on just straight-up catch-and-shoot threes. Catch, shoot, let it rip. He's hitting over 40% on this. He brings some defense to the table. He's not Asar Thompson, but he's certainly a better defender than Malik Beasley. I'm not saying you insert him right into the lineup and it's no difference because, again, what Beasley did last season was probably something that can't be replicated again with anyone in Detroit unless you get a time machine and bring Klay Thompson back and put him on this team. Not washed Klay Thompson that's in Dallas right now. But I do think Nickeil Alexander-Walker right now is someone that if the Pistons land today at 6 o'clock, we're doing victory laps for. I'm considering it a total win for the Pistons free agency if they land him tonight. That would be my big target for the Pistons with free agency beginning in about 8 hours.
Well, and it does seem like the Pistons and the Atlanta Hawks are the two teams that are the favorites right now to land Nickeil Alexander-Walker. There's good and bad news with this Malik Beasley stuff. It's obviously more bad news for everyone involved than anything else. But if you do want to take the positive perspective, this clears up money. This allows the Pistons to actually add something instead of just bringing back the same roster. Now, I think everyone wanted to bring back the same roster, right? Shams reported yesterday when this Malik Beasley stuff broke, the Pistons were prepared to sign Beasley to a 3-year, $42 million contract. It doesn't sound like a lot, right? $14 million a year. But we've also discussed that, like, you don't really pay these guys to multi-year contracts, the shooters, because they could just not shoot the ball very well. And then what else do they do?
Odds are he's not going to shoot the ball as well next season, even before all this stuff.
As much as Beasley, I would love for him to be back, and I think he adds so much value to not just the Pistons, but specifically to Cade Cunningham. Adding a guy like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who probably isn't as good of a player, he adds so much more value elsewhere, though. And we just saw him in a playoff series, like in this playoffs, be a really good contributor for the Timberwolves, right? He guarded Shai. I know that was talked about a bajillion times or whatever, but he can bring a lot more to the Pistons overall than Beasley. Now, Beasley's, one trait of shooting probably trumps everything. But like you said, him repeating last season is pretty unlikely. Either way, this whole situation sucks. But the Pistons are in an opportunity now to maybe make some sort of move via signing or trade. You had the Fontecchio $8 million that you can probably dump off somewhere if you want to clear up some more money. Dennis Schroeder's probably gone. There's an opportunity for the Pistons to do something. There just isn't a lot of guys to go out and get, I guess. If you lose out on Alexander Walker, then it's like, here's Karis LeVert. That's who's been talked about.
I said if the Pistons get Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I'm doing a victory lap, and we're celebrating that on tomorrow's show. If Karis LeVert is the sole guy they go get today,
you're not making Michigan fans happy.
I don't care.
He's just a much worse version of Malik Beasley.
He's not. No. They're not even close to the same player.
That's what I'm saying.
But Karis LeVert just isn't good. Karis LeVert's a bad asset to have on your basketball team. It'll be like, hey, the Pistons are about this gritty mindset, move the ball around, selfless, find the open shot. And then there's Karis LeVert over here like, no, when I get the ball, it's just going up. I don't really care about the offense. I like playing one-on-one basketball. That's Karis LeVert. I can't stand watching that. If that's the guy the Pistons end up with, there's going to be... Trajan Langdon's been basically perfect. Like he really is batting like 1,000 right now. He would not be batting 1,000 with the Karis LeVert thing. That counts as like 6 strikeouts in a row. That would
okay,
count.
Wait, so
Karis LeVert is in a slump.
Let's say that the Pistons decide, because it sounds like this has caught everyone off guard, which kind of surprises me because usually the teams kind of know about this stuff a little bit before it becomes public.
What, the Beasley thing?
Yeah, especially because this happened prior to him being a Piston.
Yeah,
but from all reports, it sounds like this has really shifted the Pistons' plans this offseason, out of nowhere. Would you prefer them to shift this money that they've all of a sudden come into to try to overpay Dennis Schroeder to stay? Or would you rather them still go the Nickeil Alexander-Walker route?
I've been back and forth on the Dennis Schroeder thing for so long. It does feel like he's just going to be gone. But now that they have more money, I guess it is a little bit different.
Yeah, they could technically offer him more than some other teams can.
Yeah, because they're not. It doesn't seem like they're going to be paying Beasley right now. But at the same time, you shouldn't overpay someone or overvalue them just because you came across some more money. And I feel like it just limits Jaden Ivey's ceiling on the team if you bring back Dennis Schroeder, if that makes sense. Like there's only him and Ivey couldn't play together. You know what I mean? Like only one of those guys can be on the floor at the same time, in my opinion, just because of the size. So I feel like that almost hinders Ivey's ability to turn into his true self. So now I lean more towards it's okay to let Dennis Schroeder walk and let Ivey kind of take on that backup point guard role, and maybe start next to Cade in the process of that. I wouldn't be surprised, though, now if the Pistons do make a move for someone here via a trade, now that they have this sort of money built up, if they're not going to be spending on Malik Beasley. And who knows, maybe Malik Beasley doesn't end up getting in trouble for any of this and they're able to re-sign him at a cheaper deal. Like, that's totally possible. I wouldn't be banking on that by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not out of the realms of possibilities, you know?
I do think the idea of them doing a Tobias trade to upgrade is probably out of the question now. If anything, I just feel like because they already have the cap space, I think that making the Tobias trade was if you brought back Beasley, because then you don't really have a lot of wiggle room money-wise. Now there's no point in trading Tobias plus Fontecchio when you have a bunch of cap space too. Who are you trading for, you know?
Well, there was a guy that threw a first pitch for the Detroit Tigers yesterday. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, did you get to see that? Like, were you watching that?
Yeah, well, it was so far away that like I didn't know who was going out on the mound, and I'm not like sitting in my seat dying like, oh, who's that? And they go, Michigan native, the guy in the PA, Granville native, and I was like, who could this be? NBA player, and then I stood up and did oh hell yeah before they even announced Devin Booker. I was so excited by the me walking into the game. I was on a level 5, man. I was feeling good when I got into Comerica Park. I was fine by the time the game ended, but like walking into Comerica Park was when I was like peak feeling good, if you know what I mean.
And then Tarik Skubal started going off and you peaked again.
That was a different sort of peak. Like that was just pure excitement.
Right.
So I ended up going to the Tin Roof, but it wasn't Tin Roof. It's like, you know, that tailgate area outside of Tin Roof for a while. I got a couple drinks there and didn't know how good tequila seltzers were. Those are good, but also do some serious damage when you're out in the sun and are sweating. But yeah, walking into Comerica Park is when I was like just having the best time of my entire life. That's awesome. Just so happy to be walking into Comerica Park, more than usual. 989-837-6125. Hey, let's work in some football. A trip around the league when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt. And let me tell you, if you are looking for a new place to golf, you have to go to Apple Mountain. Golfers, look no further. Apple Mountain in Freeland, where every round comes with a slice of scenic perfection. Championship-level course, beautifully maintained, and just the right mix of challenge and fun. And when you've wrapped up 18, head to the Apple Mountain restaurant for the perfect place for casual elegance or spectacular views. And spectacular views, I guess I should say. Whether you're playing for score or soaking in the atmosphere, Apple Mountain is your place to unwind, recharge, and enjoy the game. Apple Mountain in Freeland, minutes away, but miles from ordinary.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt. Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh. Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at PremierTileStone.com.
Get ready, Michigan. Field of Frames Fest presented by Dow is taking over Dow Diamond September 26th through 28th. It's the ultimate celebration of gaming, esports, and community. bringing together fans, families, players, and industry pros for a 3-day festival like no other. Watch elite teams battle in high-stakes competition. The Valorant Collegiate Invitational and Rocket League Semi-Pro Showdown, each with $10,000 prize pools. A $5,000 Super Smash Bros. Open Tournament. And a 17U Fortnite Youth Tournament with $1,000 up for grabs. There's live music, entertainment, and activities for all ages, plus educational panels and hands-on workshops for those interested in tech, business, and gaming industries. Tickets start at just $25, and kids 10 and under get in free. Don't miss your chance to be part of a landmark event. Visit fieldofFramesFest.com to grab your tickets today. Field of Frames. Experience the element of gaming.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman Night at Dow Diamond on Saturday, July 12th. The first 1,000 fans through the gates will receive an exclusive Super Lou E bobblehead courtesy of My Michigan Health. Create a lasting memory after the game as you take in Fireworks Loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Don't miss this super night of fun. Get your tickets at loons.com. Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back. Ben Bosscher Show live right here on 100.9 The Mitt. Hey, we've got a little bit of breaking news. So, in the WNBA, they have announced an expansion, and the WNBA is coming back to Detroit in 2029, ladies and gentlemen. The WNBA is back in Detroit. This is the season of the WNBA that I've actually launched myself into, and I'll fully admit, somewhat of a casual fan. It's not like I'm, reading stories and box scores every single night, but I like watching the Fever, right? I enjoy turning on the Caitlin Clark games. I enjoy watching the Vegas Aces. And now there's actually a team coming to this city in a league that's growing faster than any other league right now in professional sports. I cannot wait for 2029. And the players that will be in the league by then are going to be the league is going to look so much different by then because we're already having somewhat of a renaissance with all these new players that are coming in. Caitlin Clark obviously leads things off. Paige Beckers, Haley Van Lith, you've got Juju Watkins coming in at some point too. All these players, this is a new era of WNBA basketball, and I could not be happier that the Pistons are going to be getting a team in the mix of things, or not the Pistons. Detroit is going to be getting a team in the mix of things and going to join the party here in 2029. This is crazy.
It's awesome. I wonder if they're going to be the Shock.
I hope so.
It was such a cool name, like an awesome nickname for a team. Yeah, there's going to be 5 teams added by 2030. Cleveland in 2028, Detroit and Philly in 2029, and then Toronto and Portland in 2030. So they're expanding from 13 to 18, but they added Golden State this past season. So a ton of expansion going on in the WNBA.
It's a league that deserves it because in the past year, the popularity that's grown across that league and how many household names there are now, like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, it's the fastest growing league in sports, and it's good to see that they're getting those expansion teams. I know it's not for everybody, but I certainly enjoy watching it. All it takes is one player to kind of draw you into it, and that's obviously what Caitlin Clark has done for the league. And if this Detroit Shock, if they end up being called the Shock, get a franchise player like that, that's exactly how you get, I assume they're playing in Little Caesars Arena. That's how you get this team to be a success, getting a franchise player as soon as humanly possible. And obviously, you've got a long ways to wait, and you can't even start planning on who that franchise player is probably until like 2027, 2028. But this is something I'm looking forward to. This is awesome. I guess that's kind of I'm trying to think of like a smart thing to say, but I'm kind of just excited that this is really, really awesome news. I've been pushing for Detroit to have a team. Not that I've had any real say in it, but like I've been open and hoping that Detroit got a team here for a few years.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want one? Especially with how cool it was when the Shock was years ago. They won one
right
when I was a little kid. Yeah.
This could be really cool. All right, we'll circle back on that a little bit later on. But let's for now take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
Is it terrible what we just did?
What do you mean?
Hey, the WNBA is getting a team in Detroit. All right, we'll circle back to that. Football. Football.
All right, and even though there's nothing going on, football.
We might be bad guys. I don't know. All right.
No, it would have been worse if we didn't say anything. And then we're just like, there's some news, but let's talk about football
it's like
first.
They checked the boxes. they brought it up. No, I actually am somewhat passionate about that. I'm just trying to collect my thoughts on it. All right, so the NFL Top 100 comes out every single season this time of year. And what they've done in years past is 10 players come out at a time. So you get 100 through 91. Then you get 90 through 81. And that's typically how they did it over the course of 10 weeks. NFL Network's doing a package on all these guys. It's really cool stuff. This year, the NFL decided we're going to release 2 guys at a time for 2 months. That is some horrendous logic and use of time. 2 months, we're going to be getting two new players a day. So here's what we're going to do. Since this is not going to be revealed, the top 10, until August 29th, 2 months away, let's try to predict the top 10 players in this ridiculous list that is here to rage bait people because it's made by the players. And last year, Tyreek Hill ended up being voted as the best player in the league and then had a terrible season. So let's try to get inside the players' heads here, predict who's going to be in the top 10, and then on August 29th, 2 months from now, we'll come back and see how many players we got right.
If we even remember it by then.
We'll archive this. We'll remember it. Because once the top 10 comes out...
Why are we starting this so early, man?
Because they're doing 2 players at a time for 2 months.
But that's like, why? What's the point of doing it this way?
Milking content.
For sure.
But like by that time, training camp's going to be around. I don't know why. What's... You know
training
what I mean?
camp's going to be around. We're going to be almost started with the NFL season. Yeah.
I disagree with the way they're doing this. All right, let's get the easy ones out of the way. Top 10 players.
Well, we're trying to go in order too, right?
Yeah, let's do that. I think after last season, Josh Allen might be one. I think Josh Allen might be one for the players. I think Lamar might be two.
Yeah, I mean, really how tight of an MVP race it was. It came down to the wire. I'm cool with putting Lamar 2, but I have a guy who I think is going to be 2 or 3.
Who?
And it's not Mahomes.
Who?
They're going to put Saquon Barkley top 3.
Voted on by the players? Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey was number 3
right.
last year. Saquon just had an unreal year, won the Super Bowl.
Do you want to slide him right into that 3 spot then?
I think so.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley as our top 3.
Yeah.
All right. I can get behind that. What was Penei Sewell last year?
That's what I'm pulling up right now.
Because I don't think Penei Sewell's necessarily going... He should be. I don't know if he'll get the respect he necessarily deserves, but I'm trying to remember what he was last season to kind of get somewhat of a gauge on this. Because he's a candidate. Myles Garrett's a candidate to be 4. He's always going to be.
Mahomes, I think is.
Chris Jones. I mean, who's the top receiver Does Jamar finally pass JJ or no?
I would say Jamar just based off of the year he had last year, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, it's fair. The question is how far up does Jaden Daniels skyrocket? And Penei Sewell is 22, by the way.
I was just going to say, am I missing Penei Sewell, 22?
I wouldn't be surprised if he was a top 10.
He's not 4.
He's not 4.
Here.
He's not 4. Should we just go Mahomes?
Is Mahomes going to fall?
4?
Yeah, like what makes Mahomes fall here?
I think it's either Mahomes or Garrett at 4. Right?
Yeah, I would go Mahomes. I don't think Garrett did anything in particular last year that would make him earn the spot over Mahomes.
So let's go Mahomes 4. He stays at 4. Garrett at 5. And then
here's what we got to remember. They love to award, they love to award the award winners or reward the award winners. So Pat Surtain will be top 10 after being the defensive player of the year last year. I don't know how quite high he will be.
Last year he was 52.
Ooh, that's
a long way to jump. But I'm seeing like jumps of 46 on here.
I'm
think
seeing
Jamar
like Chase
Brock Purdy went
is
from
the safe next guy.
Brock Purdy went from unranked to number 28. So like it's not unprecedented that CJ Stroud went from unranked to 20th. So it's not unprecedented that these guys can fly up that list that fast.
Right. I think we go Jamar Chase next.
I can get behind that. Jamar Chase at 6. Are you writing this down?
Yeah, I'm writing these down.
Okay.
So it's Josh Allen, Lamar, Saquon, Mahomes, Myles Garrett, Jamar Chase. Just one defensive player so far.
I think that's fine.
Last year's list also didn't include any other quarterbacks. It actually didn't even have Josh Allen. So it just had 2 QBs.
I'm looking at last year's list, and Jalen Hurts was 15. He was down 12 spots, which means he was 3 the year after they went to the Super Bowl and lost.
Ooh.
Now that he's won a Super Bowl, I feel like we might have... It might be Hurts before...
Hurts before Jamar?
Jamar, yeah.
Which, like, I disagree with, but we're trying to predict. I think I'm with you. I think Hurts probably slides in at 6. Jamar drops to 7.
Okay. There's no scenario where he's ahead of Mahomes, right? Hurts. I don't think there should be.
He won the Super Bowl over him, but there's no way.
If Jamar Chase is in the top 10, I feel like Justin Jefferson also has to be in the top 10. He can't.
Like, are they right back to back?
Yeah.
So Jefferson 8.
Jefferson 8.
Okay.
And then we got to think about the likes of...
We have 2 spots left. Yeah, we got to really
Chris
lock these
Jones, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons hasn't been thrown around yet. Max Crosby's one of those guys that all the players are going to love, and he had another great season last year. CeeDee Lamb.
I do think Surtain is in conversation here. Sewell for sure.
We have 2 spots left?
2 spots,
this is tough.
We have to go with one of the edge rushers, right? Like, there's no way it's just Myles Garrett.
There was only one edge rusher. There was 2 because Max Crosby
3.
got on it.
TJ Watt was 8.
Oh yeah.
And Jones was 6. I mean, I think this is 2 defensive players, honestly. Unless Sewell, but Sewell probably sneaks in, man.
Sewell legitimately got some hype. They created an award for this upcoming season going forward because of how good Penei Sewell has been the last 2 seasons. I'm saying Penei Sewell 10.
Okay, we'll put him in at number 10.
And number 9, it's basically now down between Crosby, Watt, Parsons. I don't think Trent Williams is qualified anymore. I don't think Chris Jones they'd put on the list again. Fred Warner, always a possibility.
I think it's between Watt, Crosby, and Parsons. There's definitely some like...
Let's go with Parsons, man.
Yeah.
He's the best player, you know? But at the same time, like, Crosby having the season... Crosby missed the later half of the year, didn't he? Yeah. Let's go with...
Parsons missed some time, too, though.
Parsons did miss some time. Is it... Maybe it's Watt. You want to go Watt?
Okay, who was first last year? Watt was over
Watt.
All of them.
Watt. Let's go with Watt.
I don't think he falls. Yeah, I'll go TJ Watt.
So to recap, Josh Allen 1, Lamar Jackson 2,
Saquon Barkley 3rd, Patrick Mahomes 4th, Myles Garrett 5, Jalen Hurts 6, Jamar Chase 7, Justin Jefferson 8, TJ Watt 9, Penei Sewell 10.
That is us predicting the NFL Top 100 that will be coming out 2 players at a time. Whoever thought of that idea needs to be fired. 2 players at a time until August 29th when they will reveal the top 10. So 2 months from now, we'll look back and see how many we got right there. 989-837-6125. Hey, if you guys are looking for something fun to do this weekend, you may as well hop in the Great Lakes. Maybe even check out an old shipwreck. And if you're going to do that, well, you have to go to Dive and Glide. Sign up for open water dive courses at diveandglideinc.com. Learn the skills, practice, and get certified. Whether you're a beginner or brushing up on your skills, they've got the classes to get you underwater with confidence. Already a pro? Shop the best state-of-the-art gear online. Fins, regulators, masks, gauges, you know the deal. Visit diveandglide.com and gear up for your next underwater adventure. That's diveandglideinc.com, Michigan's home for all things scuba.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Parents, summer is almost here. Do you have a plan? Keep your kids active, engaged, and having a blast at Greater Midland Summer Camps. Every day is a new adventure filled with games, sports, creative activities, and new friendships. Plus, new this year, our full-day camps are now at the Greater Midland Tennis Center. More space, more fun, and more memories to be made. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Secure your child's best summer ever today at greatermidland.org/camps.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
Fueled by wonder and powered by science. At Dow, we're imagining better things for our customers and communities. It starts with our commitment to reach carbon neutrality by 2050. Designing, building, and inspiring for the world around us. Because when we wonder, the things our world needs could be just one breakthrough away. That's Dow.
Hey, did you guys catch anything yet?
Not a thing.
Ah, bummer, neither have we. I'm actually just about to head into town. I'm gonna go into Higher Standards Automotive. They got this award-winning service department with amazing technicians and this large parts department in case I want to fix it myself. They got the part there.
Whatever.
No, I'm serious, man. It's out there.
Yeah, just like when you tried to convince me Bigfoot was real.
Ray?
Bigfoot's behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, we got it. Run! Get out! Stop into Higher Standards Automotive, North Eastman Road in Midland, right past the mall.
Wackadoo! Bluey and her little sister Bingo are joining the Great Lakes Loons again this summer for Red, White, and Bluey Weekend presented by My Michigan Hound. It's 2 games of fun, laughter, and memories with our favorite Blue healer. Whether it's Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, don't miss out. For tickets, visit loons.com. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The
Mitt. Shout out my brother, man, for hooking me up with some of these rejoiners you hear. He made all these. These are pretty cool.
That's tough.
989-837-6125. That's the number to get a hold of us here. The Mitt messages are open. We've got more breaking news, man. The Dolphins and Steelers have finalized a blockbuster trade. Jalen Ramsey is now a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Whoa.
Jalen Ramsey is now a Pittsburgh
Man, the Steelers are just going crazy this offseason.
Yeah,
man.
they're like, let's get all the old guys on our team. Let's get all the washed up guys past their prime in Pittsburgh, and we're going to see what happens. You know what's going to happen? They're going to go under 500.
I thought they were going to trade for Jonnu Smith. Wasn't that the talk that they were trying to get him off the Dolphins?
Another old guy.
Ramsey? Interesting.
Ramsey's old at this point, right?
I wouldn't say old. He's just washed.
Yeah, he wasn't good last season. Anyway. Where were we going?
They have Slay now, too. Yeah, I forgot they have Slay.
Bunch of old guys.
Man.
All right, Kyle, let's do our Monday tradition. It is the stock market exchange.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
The stock market.
The show goes on.
All right, we're buying things, we're selling things from over the weekends. Kyle, how about you kick us off today?
Okay. I have a really good one to start things off. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm going to explain it. I am buying stock on everything LeBron James because this weekend I came to the realization, oh my God, LeBron might actually be retiring. Is this buying stock on him winning a championship? No. Is this buying stock on him winning another award? No. This is just me consuming everything LeBron that I can. And that's why I'm buying his stock. Is it a good investment? Probably not. But look, I was always under the impression that, he's got 2 more years left. I just didn't want to believe it. Him opting into the player option, whether or not he gets traded or whatever, this is the sign. We're going to hear in probably 2 weeks, the announcement, because he'll do a farewell tour, right?
Oh, you think that this is coming? You think that this is a farewell tour this season? Oh, I don't know.
I mean, why would he opt in?
I don't know.
Why would he not opt out, sign a 2-year deal?
So he can get traded this season and kind of force his way to whatever team he wants to.
Right, which it does sound like maybe he wants to get traded, and it sounds like they're going to cooperate with maybe the Lakers want to trade him. I also don't know who is trading for 1 year of LeBron James who's making $50 million. I don't know who that makes any sense for.
What about the Pacers?
Who are they trading for him to match the money? Siakam? They're not trading Siakam.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
No, it doesn't make sense for literally any team. People are saying Cleveland, go back to Cleveland.
They'd
have to trade Jared Allen. Why would you trade any?
So they have Mobley.
You're getting 1 year of Bron, and Jared Allen also makes $25 million.
Is LeBron just not an objectively better player than Jared Allen, even at year 22?
He is, but you're getting 1 year, and it's half his salary. They got to make up $25 more million. I guess they just got Lonzo Ball. Throw him in it.
What if he became a Celtic until Tatum comes back? I'm just spitballing.
Yeah, that's... Either way, I'm buying everything LeBron James because this is kind of looking like it might be his last year, and I'm not taking it for granted.
I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for an NBA.
I'm not either,
LeBron
man.
James, that is, man, you got me tearing up on a Monday.
I know. An NBA without LeBron James is an NBA I don't want to watch.
That's a lie. All right, I'm gonna buy Caitlin Clark stock once again for the 3rd consecutive week. She did not play the last 2 games, out with a groin injury. Still hit our lock of the day because the Fever came through on Friday, won by 2.5 over Dallas. Seems like a perfect chance to buy some stock. She's probably more than likely playing tonight, making her return to the court. She misses a couple games. The hype train kind of starts slowing down a little bit. No. That hype train's going to be back going 100 miles an hour tonight when she comes in, checks in the first quarter, and just hits 3 threes right out of the gate. I would like to continue to buy Caitlin Clark stock. To your point about LeBron, you just want to consume everything. I want to consume everything with Caitlin Clark too because I truly believe that this woman is going to be the GOAT of this league. So who knows? Maybe every Monday from this point forward, I will be buying Caitlin Clark stock.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Like you said, this is something you're buying every week, so I totally get it. Okay, let me tell you something I'm selling. This is kind of a dumb one. I'm selling my beach stock. I went to the Grand Haven State Park beach this weekend. I did not realize the beach had this much aura.
What?
Like, why was it so packed?
Have you never been to Grand Haven? That's just what it is every day in the summer.
I've been there a few times, but not in like some years. I mean, it was busier than like a Florida beach on spring break.
Yes, people lose their minds in Grand Haven.
It was unreal, dude. We had to park like a half an hour away.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out on that, man.
I like downtown Grand Haven more than I like the actual beach at this point because the beach gets so crowded and populated that it's like uncomfortable how many people are there.
Right. Like the beach is fun and everything, but having to go through all that, a 30-minute walk and back, and having that many people around you, like, it's really not worth it.
Well, did you get into downtown? Did you guys do anything downtown with whoever you were with?
We walked around downtown and stuff. But
get some food?
Yeah, it was cool.
Get some corn dogs from that one place?
No corn dogs. I do like corn dogs. I'm in on those. But I think I'm out on the beach. It was fun and everything, but like, was it really?
Out on the beach might be one of the crazier things you've ever said on this show.
Like, I'd rather just go on a boat.
It's much colder on a boat. Once you get it out onto the water, open water.
I'm not like out on the beach fully. It's just when it's that packed. What are we doing?
So you're out on
This
Grand
ain't Florida,
Haven.
bro.
You're out on Grand Haven.
This ain't Panama City Beach, dude. This is Grand Haven.
I'm selling my Major League Baseball scheduling stock. Why is there only one Sunday night game every week? There should be
wait.
at least two.
Did you hear what you just said? One Sunday night game every week?
So ESPN does this on Monday nights during the football season, right? And we complain about it because we don't want to watch two games at a time.
What you're saying.
If there was a sport where they should have two nationally televised games on at the same time, it should be baseball, not football. With baseball, it's a regional sport. It is a regional sport at the end of the day. If you have two different broadcasts going of a West Coast game and a East Coast game or somewhere in the middle, that one starts at 7, one starts at 8, two Sunday night games, no one's going to complain. No one's going to voice their opinion of, well, I can't watch both games at once now like we do in the NFL. Because I agree that the two NFL games at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of. But with baseball, it just gives another team or an extra two teams that chance to play on Sunday night, which is so special that we found out yesterday down in Comerica Park. I'm down for two Sunday night games a week, so I will be selling my MLB scheduling stock.
That's interesting. I didn't really know where you were going at first with that. I don't mind that. I mean, it would give more teams opportunity to get on national TV. So yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yes.
I'm out on the Monday Night Football thing, though, so that's why I can't really fully get behind this.
You and I both. 989-837-6125. Quick timeout. We'll come back, wrap up Stock Exchange. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau Agent, located downtown Midland. So last night, we all watched Tarik Skubal on national television tear up the Twins. He goes 7 innings scoreless, 13 strikeouts, and just dominated in front of a national audience. And it really had me thinking, not last season for the Lions, but the season prior when they started to get a few national television games, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. And obviously the Lions have always been on Thanksgiving, but really not just Lions fans, but NFL fans and football fans in general really started to fall in love with the Lions because of their presence on national TV. Now, this is obviously not a dig at Tarik Skubal because he's been really good for much longer than just right now, but it has me wondering, is this maybe the turning point where not just Tigers fans, not just, diehard baseball fans, more of a casual Major League Baseball and baseball fan audience are really going to start to fall in love with Tarik Skubal based off of the dominance that he showed today. We all know about the grittiness that the Tigers showed in last year's playoffs, and now they're following it up this season with being the best team in the American League, tied for the best record in Major League Baseball right now. The emotion and passion that Tarik Skubal shows on the mound, doing it on ESPN last night, just making a statement that he's going for back-to-back Cy Youngs. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
Hey everyone, Brad Tunney here with the Mitt. And I want to talk to you about my friends over at Maple Hill Nursery, one of the great local family-owned businesses in our region for over 40 years. Now, their specialty is in landscaping with expertise and high-quality trees, plants, and shrubs. They're also a full stocking dealer of Dairy Dew, and they've got polywood furniture. Now, I've got it all over my backyard. It's maintenance-free and long-lasting and comes in 18 different colors. Stop by Maple Hill Nursery, just 2.5 miles north of the Midland Mall on Eastman.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
Celebrate 4th of July with the Great Lakes Loons. Join us for our block party on Main, presented by the Michigan Army National Guard. Celebrate America's independence with face painting, balloon animals, the inflatable zone on the front lawn, and of course, America's pastime. The evening wraps up with a spectacular fireworks Loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. For tickets, visit loons.com. This isn't just baseball, it's the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of. It's hot! Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic? Yeah. We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation, that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). We're doing our morning stock exchange. We do it every Monday, and well, I want to continue doing it. It's one of my things I look forward to every Monday show, Kyle. Honestly, it's always something that during the weekend I'm just taking notes, like just writing stuff down on my phone notes or on the yellow legal pad if I'm sitting at home. It's just like taking like, what am I buying? What am I selling? What do I like? What do I not like anymore?
I really enjoy it as well.
So I'll kick us off again because we've already done one segment on it. This is us continuing it. I'm selling my Squid Game stock. The new season came out. I watched the first 2 episodes. Snooze fest.
Really?
Did not enjoy the first couple
pretty
episodes.
Good.
Thank you. The snoring?
I never got into Squid Game. Like
it's just
when it was
season
a big fad or
2.5. It's season 2.5. It picks up immediately where season 2 left off, and it's fine. Like I watched the first 2 episodes, and by the time I was like halfway through the second episode, I was like, man, how much more time is left in this. That's never a good sign.
That's the worst.
That's never a good sign. And now I feel obligated to finish it, but I don't really want to.
Then just don't, yeah. Okay, I'm going to buy. I'm buying Chaz Lanier stock, man.
Love it.
Look, after this Malik Beasley stuff's going down, you get picked in the second round. You don't really know if you're going to have a role immediately at all. But, man, it looks like on the Pistons, he might, if Malik Beasley's gone, and who knows, they might just strike out in free agency because clearly their plan was to bring back Beasley. So we'll see how much Lanier gets run, but I'm going to buy his stock.
I honestly think I would have. I didn't write him down. I probably should have. I might have bought Chaz Lanier stock even if Malik Beasley, this thing doesn't happen for him. I love this Chaz Lanier pick, man. I think this is someone who can come in, has one specific skill set that translates immediately to the NBA.
Right.
Watch some of his stuff at Tennessee. Average 18 points a game on just lights out shooting from behind the arc. This guy has the confidence you need in an NBA shooter, especially at that 6'5" frame with the long arms. Hopefully there's untapped defensive potential too. Wasn't his strength in Tennessee, but I think maybe they can get that out of him just because he's got the wingspan to be able to do it. I love that pick from Trajan Langdon and the Pistons. I am buying some Red Wing stock for the first time in a long time. They end up trading for John Gibson, 3-time All-Star in the goal. They end up giving up a 2026 fourth and a 2027 second-round pick to get him. Look, is that a risk for an aging goalie? A goalie who's played in 31 games, or who played in 29 games last year and is 31 years old? Yeah, it is a big risk, but I think the Red Wings are now in a position where there was so much pressure on Steve Yzerman to make the playoffs in what will be his final year as GM if he does not make the playoffs, that they have to start pushing their chips towards the middle of the table. There's been an influx of goalies, not in a good way, that have played for this Red Wings team over the past 5 seasons. 5 different goalies were in net just last year. There's been no stability at that position really since the first Peter Mrazek run and Jimmy Howard era, which is forever ago at this point. So I'm totally in on giving up some picks now to help the team win right now because there's some desperation now. I don't know if it's urgency as much as it is desperation for the Wings to turn things around for Steve Yzerman's sake. I like the move.
Yeah, it's first positive Red Wings talk a month into the show. It took a while, but
might be the first positive Red Wings talk we've had in 2 years.
Yeah, ever station. Since being on the 100.9. Yeah. Okay, I'll buy. This is the weirdest one of the day. This is a really dumb one.
Weirder than selling
but I have
beach
a good
stock?
reason behind it. Yes, I am buying Thanksgiving stock right now.
This might be genius, actually.
This is week of 4th of July, right? So it's perfect timing, like big time holiday. Everyone's super excited. It's a short week for a lot of people. It's a fun holiday. Love it. But it's not as good as Thanksgiving. You know?
I don't know.
So I'm just letting people know right now, like, this is the perfect time to buy because everyone's all in on 4th of July. Oh, how fun is 4th of July? Not as fun as Thanksgiving.
I don't know if I can get behind this one, man. If you're going out to the beach,
July 4th is probably second best holiday, but Thanksgiving
behind
is number
Thanksgiving?
1. Man.
Where is Christmas on this list?
I don't know, man. It's not as good as Thanksgiving.
I don't know. Christmas.
I wasn't going to buy Christmas stock. That's boring. Thanksgiving stock, though.
Thanksgiving over 4th of July is nuts to me.
I literally am doing that right now.
Nuts. Especially
I love 4th of July, man. It's
Michigan,
a good time.
if you're spending 4th of July on the boat and you come back, you dock it, people are grilling, there's hot dogs, there's burgers, there's chicken.
Yeah, it sounds
fresh
great.
Off the grill.
No, dude, that sounds awesome. You know what's way more awesome? Watching football.
Not turkey.
Stuffing
Not
your
turkey.
face with really good things. Thanksgiving has the best food. Don't talk about the food
Thanksgiving
aspect
has
of
the
this.
most food. Thanksgiving does
It's
not
better than
have the
4th of
best
July food.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is, dude.
Turkey.
Come
is
on, man. You don't have to just have turkey.
Turkey's just it ain't it. Turkey's fine, but it's not
It is
chicken.
fine, but
It's
you
not
can have
chicken.
more than turkey, dude.
I'm kind of dumbfounded.
This is a good time to buy things. Okay, nonetheless, it's a good time to buy Thanksgiving stock, right?
I agree with that.
Okay.
I will be selling my Clippers stock. They end up signing James Harden to an 81-year deal. Yeah, I'm all good. I can't take the Clippers seriously as like a franchise team if James Harden's their point guard.
Okay, out on the Clippers. I'll throw you my last one here. I'm selling Cal Raleigh stock, sadly.
I like this, though.
Aaron
Good
Judge
zag.
rips 2 homers last night, and I'm like, yeah, he just still is obviously the MVP. Like a cool run from Cal Raleigh, definitely going off. But obviously Judge still is just there. So I'm selling my big donkey or big dumpy stock. That's what they call him.
I'm just going to wrap things up by saying I'm just buying golf stock. I can't get enough of it right now.
Great time to buy that, right?
I just can't get enough of it right now. This is me, like, personally. It's all over my Instagram feed. I Top Golf yesterday, driving range the day before, at the LPGA the entire week. I can't get enough golf right now. I feel like an adult. 989-837-6125, 11 o'clock hour on the way.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
When the summer heat is on, keep your cool with Answer Heating and Cooling. Our expert team specializes in fast, reliable air conditioning repairs, installations, and maintenance. Stay comfortable all season long with top-notch cooling solutions and simply outstanding service. Plus, with financing options and special rebates, cooling your home has never been more affordable. Answer Heating and Cooling, where comfort is our priority. Try our new schedule online option or call us today.
At Sandy Ridge, our completely renovated clubhouse is ready for you. With a brand new full kitchen, a spacious deck, and plenty of room for any event, it's the perfect spot for weddings, parties, or any special gathering. And that's not all. Our whole 16 green has been redesigned and is better than ever. Plus, our greens are the truest around, on par with the top courses, but at a price that fits your budget. Come visit us today at Sandy Ridge and see why we're the perfect choice for your next event.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the local job market. We're here in person. And we're locally owned, so you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at Spherion.com to find your local Spherion office. Let's get to work.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Michigan. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Welcome back in, 11 o'clock hour, Ben Bosscher Show, live right here on 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Thank you very much. All right, the story of the day. Tarik Skubal, this guy demoralized every single thing about the Twins organization from top to bottom. Top of the lineup, bottom of the lineup, and everything in between. This guy eviscerated them yesterday. Sunday Night Baseball, you walk into Comerica Park, and there was just this feeling. Like, you see Tarik Skubal take the mound, you see him warming up in the bullpen, and we were kind of sitting towards the bullpen, on the third base side, not like looking down into it, but we were more on the third base side, so you could kind of peek into it. And as we're going down the stairs, the infinite amount of people just standing up, looking into the bullpen, watching this guy warm up, it's aura. Like that's, I know we throw that word around a little bit too much. I think that's somewhat of an overused word these days, but that is the definition of aura, of everyone just phone out, watching this guy warm up in the bullpen. He takes the mound, and everyone just kind of had a sense. Sunday Night Baseball, something special is about to happen for Tarik Skubal. He's due for one of those games that he has about once a month where it just feels like no one else on the planet is capable of putting up a performance like that. A truly once-in-career type of performance that he has once a month. And yesterday was that day. You just kind of sensed it. How quickly did it get into your head that you may be witnessing a no-hitter or something along those lines, a complete game, perfect game, whatever it is? Because it felt like after 2, something historic was happening. And then after 3, when he had 7 straight strikeouts, 8, he retired, 8 of the first 9 batters? It was like, yeah, start looking up some records because he's setting them tonight. And sure enough, 13 Ks tied his career high.
After the first 2 innings, it was like, okay, yeah, this is one of them Skubal starts. For sure.
He's in the zone.
But then after the 3rd inning, it was like, okay, this is like one of them ones. Like, this is not even a typical one. Striking out 8 of the first 9, you knew that something crazy was about to go down. And it did. He's the first Tiger ever to have 13 strikeouts with just 1 or less hit given up. Like, it was a historic start last night. And it did feel, as much as I prefer the Tigers broadcast because of Benetti and Dickerson, it felt different being on the ESPN game. It really did. It had that sense to it that it was like, okay, this is major. This is on a national display for people to see. It was awesome.
The energy in the building last night, like I just wish I hope everyone at some point gets down to Comerica this week, or not this week, but this year before the season ends. And by the way, this Wednesday, you're going to have a chance to win some tickets. Guess what? Next Wednesday, you're also going to have a chance to win some tickets. Guess what? The following Wednesday, you're also going to have a chance to win some tickets. Big announcement coming up. So I really hope everyone just takes the time to make the drive down to Detroit or wherever you're listening from. Make the drive to Detroit because the atmosphere in Comerica Park. I was never a huge Comerica Park person. I think the concourse is somewhat crowded. I think it's somewhat difficult to get food. But once you actually go sit down in the bowl and you realize how packed it was, I probably sat down in my seat about 6:55. And usually what happens at these games, not even just baseball games, Kyle, but like usually the crowd doesn't actually fill up until an inning or 2 in or a few minutes into the first quarter. It was no empty seats right from first pitch. Everyone had to make sure they were in their seats to witness Tarik Skubal step on the mound and start his epic performance. Little did we know it. Actually, I don't even want to say that because we knew. There was just a feeling that we knew it was going to be an epic performance. It was also like he was kind of due. Skubal. Yeah, that's a good point. He was.
And what better time to do it than on Sunday Night Baseball?
I know he had the game with the swing and miss. And I haven't gone back and watched the broadcast of last night. We were just watching the replays up on the video board. I know he had the 34 swing and miss pitch game. I have a hard time believing there was ever a game this year or the last 2 years where he had as many guys like folding like lawn chairs the way he had guys trying to swing at that changeup yesterday. It was disgusting from the angle I was sitting at. I don't know what it looked like on the TV.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
But
and you want to know
no
why
one
it even
could
looked
get a
more
grip
awesome?
of one of these balls.
I think first time all year the home plate club was full.
Really?
Was
Devin Booker in the home plate club?
I don't think so.
They didn't make a mention of it?
At least. Because even when they had the sold out crowds when the Cubs came to town, it was like, yeah, it's sold out, but then there's still empty seats in the home plate club. I legitimately think last night was like, even that is packed. That's how you know it's got a different vibe to it.
That might be I can't ever remember
I can't remember a time when it wasn't fully packed. But that's the part about Comerica Park that I like. There was not a bad seat in that place.
Oh, no.
You could sit anywhere.
even the upper deck in Comerica Park, everywhere you just have a great angle of the game. And I mean, depending on where you're sitting, you're watching a different game. But it's everywhere's a great seat there. And they're honestly not that expensive of tickets. Like I got mine for like $50 a piece and we were 10 rows up. Like that's pretty
Sunday
good.
Night Baseball?
Yeah.
The sold out crowd. That's crazy.
I thought that was good seats. And
shout out to Chris Ilitch, right?
Yeah, always shout out to Chris Ilitch. But yeah, you know what we failed to really mention here too is the fact that Riley Green comes through, 19th home run of the season. Kerry Bonds finally out of this slump with just over the weekend, the course of 2 home runs, including one yesterday. Rob's a home run. That was earlier in the weekend. So nice to see him kind of back on track.
That's the only scary part. Could be injured, right? Left the game with that hamstring tweak after getting the triple.
Yeah. Can we just put Kerry Carpenter on IL?
I think they're going to, right? Because
this hamstring thing has been lingering for way too long.
It allows him to actually fully heal up, and it allows probably Henry Malloy to come back up and get some major league at-bats again. I would assume they put him on IL, but haven't heard anything yet.
I want them to. I think the Tigers have built a big enough cushion, 11.5 games up over Cleveland right now, to where they can afford to put Kerry Carpenter on IL for 10 days, 11 days, and just let this hamstring get back to 100%. Because I don't like that he has a lingering hamstring injury. Like, if it was anything else, I think we could play through it. But that just scares me, because if he pulls that, who knows how long he's out. So I'm down to just let him get healthy. I think that's the benefit of having such a successful first half of the season and playing in a not-so-great division where you have this significant of a lead over anyone. And there's not a better time to do it because the Nationals are not great. They shouldn't be needing Kerry Carpenter necessarily in that series in order to pick up a series win there. And then, I mean, Cleveland, that's a pretty big series. But if they don't have Kerry Carpenter, then so be it. So be it. They need to go get another crack at Cleveland anyway.
I'm distracted right now.
Why?
More is getting added to this Pittsburgh Steelers Miami Dolphins trade. Jonnu Smith is in it now.
Wait. What?
I think it's technically 2 separate trades. I'm sorry to completely change the topic.
No, you're
here,
good. I'm confused. I don't understand the Steelers, what they're doing right now.
So the full, what the Steelers got, what the Dolphins got, because I think this is technically 2 different trades. The Steelers get Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, a 2027 7th rounder. The Dolphins get Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 5th rounder.
So it's all one trade.
So the Steelers got Ramsey and Jonnu.
You rarely see player-for-player trades. That's essentially what this is. A 5th and a 7th are in the transaction, but this is a 2-for-1 player trade. You never see that.
Never.
In the NFL, ever. Minkah Fitzpatrick, an objectively better player than Jalen Ramsey at this point in his career, right? Why are they so desperate to bring in Jonnu Smith? Why are they willing to move off of Minkah Fitzpatrick to bring in someone who plays a different position, but a worse player in the secondary and a middle-tier tight end at best?
Who also needs to be paid. That's why the Dolphins were rumored to be trading Jonnu Smith, because he needs a new contract.
What the hell are the Steelers doing? I feel even better about my selling Steelers stock that I made a couple of weeks ago.
Do they think they're winning the Super Bowl?
I think they think they're content. They watched the Ravens make a move to get Jair Alexander, and they were like, you know what we should do is go get Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. Aaron Rodgers was like, I want the most mid tight end there is in the NFL. What do you got for me?
Okay,
the
that might be a little
like,
bit of a stretch.
Let's go get John. What do you mean it might be a stretch? Is he?
I mean, he was pretty good last year.
He's fine. He's nothing special.
Yes.
He's nothing special.
He's not mid.
He's not mid, but he's not good. He's fine.
Okay.
He's fine as a tight end. If you're making trades for that guy though, what are you doing? There's a reason Miami didn't want to pay him. And they're looking to move off of him. And the Steelers are like, we'll do it.
Minka's going back to Miami too, where things got started. Really weird stuff going on here. Just a weird trade.
What do you think the Dolphins were like on their end of things, where they were like, wait, you want the guy that we don't want to pay in a washed-up corner who we didn't plan on playing anyway, and you're going to give us all-pro Minkah Fitzpatrick?
See, I'm just wondering when they're like, when did they come to the terms of, hey, can we get Minka in this? Like, what made you even think of that? These trades don't happen.
Because usually it's picks. And these are two teams that are apparently trying to win now, making trades with each other. You do not see this in football.
Like, let me get your starting safety for our starting corner and tight end. What?
This is a fantasy trade. This is legitimately a fantasy football trade. I know that you don't really draft defensive players in fantasy football, but it's a 2-for-1. You never see this in football. And Minka Fitzpatrick's like still an awesome safety. Jalen Ramsey's not an awesome corner. Jonnu Smith's not an awesome tight end. What are the Steelers doing? I was making fun of the
fact that they were calling this a blockbuster trade, but it kind of is.
It's washed up players, but the names are certainly blockbuster. Because everyone, like, if you play fantasy football, you've had Jonnu Smith on your team or on the waivers or played against him at some point, right? Again, not a star. But if you're even a casual NFL fan, like, you probably know Minka Fitzpatrick and Jalen Ramsey. These are two of the perennial all-pro defensive guys in the secondary over the past decade. And they're just getting swapped for each other.
Imagine being a Steelers fan, finding out, like, oh, we just traded for Jalen Ramsey. That's sick. And then, like, 2 minutes later, oh, no, you're giving up Minka.
Well, the way the cookie crumbled on this was bizarre because it was like, hey, Jalen Ramsey's a Steeler. It was like, oh, cool. What'd they give up? It's like, we don't know yet. And then it was like, Minka Fitzpatrick. It's like, wait, 1-for-1? That can't be right. It's like, Jonnu Smith is also in this, actually, 10 minutes after that. What? Hey, man.
Weirdest trade of the offseason, for sure.
Weirdest trade in a while.
Yeah.
I'm trying to recall. I can't recall a crazier trade off the top of my head. Bizarre stuff. 989-837-6125. Hey, NBA free agency opens up tonight. Tonight at 6 p.m. Who's top candidate for the Pistons? It's next here on the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Last week, the Loons were in Fort Wayne, Indiana, taking on the Tin Caps, and the long ball was flying out of Parkview Field. The Loons hit 6 home runs in 6 games, including a spectacular Sunday performance from Frank Rodriguez. Had a 5-ribby, 3-hit game, including a grand slam in the 8th. 2-1. Rodriguez swings. Hard hit to deep left. Campbell gives it a look, but that is out of here. Grand slam for Efrod. Man, oh man. Demolished 406. 105 off the bat, and he has made the most of his opportunities here this year in the Midwest League. That cushion completely deflated. Tuesday night, it's Loons and Whitecaps in Comstock Park, Michigan. Join us at 6:20 p.m.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Mary Draves, former Dow executive and leader in the Midland community.
I think as we get a little bit older, we start to care less about what other people think.
That's really a great point, yeah.
And so as I've gotten older, I think I've become way more comfortable in who I am and what I stand for. And, you know, when you get to that point, all of a sudden, you know, you become less apologetic about who you are. You also, you know, you're like, hey, this is me, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And I think in my 20s versus maybe I'm in my 50s now, it's a very different person. And that's just really part of the continuum of growth.
Listen to the full interview with Mary on 100.9 The Mitt's YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Logan Snyder from Bullet Creek High School. With a 3.94 GPA, Logan's a member of the varsity golf team, revitalizing a program that was dormant when he was a freshman 4 years ago. Logan great at golf and in the classroom, and also volunteers, including at the Midland Miracle Fields.
I love working with those kids, and it's always so much fun to see like them getting to play the game we all get to love to play. Just getting to see like them going up to bat, hitting the ball, no matter how far it goes, and they're just super excited. It just warms my heart every time.
Logan will be attending Ferris State in the fall and plans to study in their PGA Golf Management program. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). Ben Bosscher here in the Beasley Electric Studio. Hour number 3 well on its way. NBA free agency opens up tonight. And with the Pistons finding out yesterday, Malik Beasley might be in a little bit of trouble when it comes to the gamble. I don't know what that was. Just came out. With Malik Beasley potentially being not in the league. That's not out of the realm of possibilities. With Malik Beasley being investigated for gambling, tied to stuff from the 2023-24 season he spent with Milwaukee, it doesn't seem like he's being re-signed today. The report was he was going to be re-signed for a 3-year deal worth $40 million, $14 million a year. That, again, doesn't look like it's happening, at least for right now. So what kind of shift does that put on the Pistons' free agency plans? Well, you start looking around, who's a guy that could potentially replace that? Obviously, they draft Chaz Lanier out of the second round, out of Tennessee. That's obviously someone who's coming in with one specific skill set, and that is to shoot the 3 ball. You can't just put a second-round rookie in a spot where Malik Beasley was last season, though. Malik Beasley had one of the best three-point shooting seasons in the history of the NBA from a role player. And what I mean by that is someone not named Steph Curry. So if you're going to look around and try to find out some targets, some players that you would deem winners, the Pistons would be winners if they got these guys at in free agency when it opens up tonight. The first guy on my list, Kyle, would be Nickeil Alexander-Walker, cousin of the MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's a guy who could come in. Again, wouldn't be Malik Beasley, but did shoot 42% from catch and shoot last year. A much better defender, can get to the rim a little bit better than Beasley did, in my opinion. Although Beasley had like low-key good ups. You could dunk it once in a while where I was like, whoa. But that is someone who brings a lot more to the skill set. Not necessarily someone who can like get their own buckets, but has shown
but still much
small
more of a guard
flashes
than
of
Beasley
it.
is.
Yeah, like you don't want your offense funneling through them, but if push comes to shove, a few seconds left and the ball ends up in his hands, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, whereas Beasley was like, he's a catch and shoot player at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's all he really did. Get to the rim once in a while. Nickeil does a little bit more. Has the pull-up, has the dribble, can shoot the mid-range. Not as good of an outside shooter as Beasley, but could fill that role at 6'5" and be another shooter, 3-and-D wing player that the Pistons add. I don't want Pistons fans to go into tonight expecting some big home run. Oh, the Pistons made the blockbuster deal. First of all, there's not a ton of free agents for that to even happen, and I don't think they're going to be making this massive trade here. Although they might have a lot more cap space to make a trade now that Beasley's probably just not getting an extension. Because again, don't gamble on the NBA if you're in the NBA. Piece of advice. So if they end up getting someone like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, that to me is like we're doing a parade tomorrow. We're doing a victory lap. We're celebrating, even though it's a name that no one out there listening probably even knows.
I feel like the Pistons' move there isn't one coming, right? Their move was to get Beasley. I know that free agency starts at 6 p.m. tonight or whatever. We all know it starts before tonight. Like this stuff is
already being made.
Yes. And you read a lot of these articles and stuff. There's already the places that these guys are expected to land already before free agency has even started. It sounds like the Atlanta Hawks are the team that is most aggressively pursuing Alexander Walker. If they don't, if the Hawks get him, what is the Pistons' move? Because their move was to bring back Beasley, and then last second it's been taken away. Not saying that they can't. And also, Beasley hasn't been charged with anything. Nothing has happened yet.
Yeah, but they're not going to sign anyone under investigation.
Right, exactly. It doesn't look great. But I would just say that I think their move was to bring back Beasley. And now they're going to have all this cap space and really not have anything to do with it unless they pivot and make a trade right now. This is going to be very telling of how Trajan Langdon views this team next season, because it seemed like the run-it-back approach was what their plan was. Now they necessarily can't.
I'll tell you what they can't do. What they can't do is just do nothing and be like, well, we thought we were getting Malik Beasley back, and now we're just going to run it back with Ivy.
I wouldn't be shocked if that happened.
That cannot happen. You can't lose out on some of your most key assets from a season ago, huge contributors for the reason the Pistons turned it around, and replace them with absolutely no one and expect to still get better. I get it. The player development's important for the Pistons. It seems to be the number one priority is making sure Cade is still developing, making sure Ivy is developing. Same with Asar and Duran. But you can't lose out on all your good role players, your veteran guys, and not replace them with equally as good, if not better guys, and expect your younger players to continue developing. You have to surround them with talent. That is the exact reason they had their turnaround last year, because they surrounded Cade with talent for the first time in his career. You can't just let these guys walk, or in Beasley's case, just not sign them for other reasons, and still expect to be this playoff team. Like, you got to put together an 8-man roster like they had last season. So, I mean, I look around for, like, guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, even like a Bruce Brown wouldn't get me very excited, but, like, that's at least another name that you could put in there and know that it's a vet you feel okay about, you know, in a role where you can handle the ball a little bit, but also just kind of stretch the floor. You know, guys like that. Like, what I'm not looking to do is like, hey, Alec Burks, you're back. No.
Karis LeVert.
No Karis LeVert. If Karis LeVert becomes a Detroit Piston, I'm going to have a meltdown on this show tomorrow. Because Karis LeVert is the antithesis of how Detroit basketball was being played on offense last year. First of all, Karis LeVert doesn't defend anybody. And Karis LeVert is out there on his own mission. You're playing 4-on-5, and he's playing 1-on-5 when he has the ball. He's on his own path. You can't get to him. So if they end up signing him, I'm going to be livid.
Okay, what about another former Michigan Wolverine that has been potentially tied to the Pistons, and Duncan Robinson? Right,
that
you need to replace
gets me
that
a little
three-point
interesting.
shooting. We talk about Beasley's weaknesses outside of a shooter, but man, that is a ton of shooting to lose if he doesn't come back. So you do have to try to replace that somehow. Like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, you talk about the catch and shoot numbers and everything. Shooting is not his strong suit, right? He's still a guy that teams might let shoot in the playoffs. Malik Beasley was not. Duncan Robinson potentially is not.
You're saying Duncan Robinson's not a guy that you'd let shoot. Right. Yeah. He's interesting because he has had waves of like different types of seasons and confidence levels. I think like he's talked about it. There was, he comes into the league as one of the best shooters in the league, and then the confidence levels just drop dramatically for him, and suddenly he's like a liability out there, and the Heat have to bench him because he's a negative asset defensively. So he's an interesting choice if the Pistons were to go that route. I would prefer Nickeil Alexander-Walker right now, or even a Luke Kennard, who's probably going to make the similar money that
right. Alexander-Walker is definitely the guy you're paying the most.
Yes, and they have the money to do it.
Right.
So why not?
And the spot is now open.
Correct.
If I had to take a guess, I would think Hardaway probably comes back on a smaller deal.
Yeah, he's not going to cost very much at all.
Right.
You know who the other guy I've seen linked to the Pistons is? Is Bol Bol. Remember the Pistons tried to trade for Bol Bol a couple of seasons ago, and he failed his medical, and they didn't get him in?
Troy Weaver era, yeah.
I don't even know how he would fit in on this team unless they were doing like he's basically playing power forward, small forward minutes, where it's like him, Cade, Ivy, Tobias, and
I'm chilling on Bol Bol.
Dude, you're out. I don't know. It's somewhat of an experimental thing that I'd be somewhat interested in doing.
Are the Pistons in an experimental era anymore? No.
No, you're right. You're right. Dorian Finney-Smith's not a bad option, but also like
he fits a need.
He fits a need, but like you'd much rather get that need as a guard rather than a power forward. You know what I mean? Like you'd rather have a 3-and-D guard than a power forward.
But you're still cool with a lineup of like
Tobias and him together,
and Asar even, or Ivy.
The size in that would be incredible. 989-837-6125. Hey, at Air Garcia, they understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs. Life, home, auto, fiscal. It's all available with Farm Bureau Arid. The team's got over 100 years of combined experience. They know exactly how to put you in the best position. Experience matters. That's why Arid Farm Bureau Insurance is the way to go. We'll hit the news when we come back. A lot of news today on this Monday here in the Great Lakes Bay region. Do that when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
The doctors at Midland Eye Care want you to know a comprehensive eye exam is the only way to protect and detect vision-related disease. It goes beyond improved vision from glasses or contact lenses. Many common eye diseases such as glaucoma, diabetic eye disease, and age-related macular degeneration often have no warning signs. A dilated eye exam is the only way to detect these diseases in their early stages. This message brought to you by Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and now on East Washington in Freeland.
Something is amiss at Dow Diamond. The award-winning True Crime Night returns for the Great Lakes Loons on Thursday, July 10th. And this time, our beloved golden bobblehead is missing. It's an evening filled with suspense and intrigue. Join the investigation to uncover the mystery and help solve the case of who framed Lou E. Loon. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mine stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in. The Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. It has been a jam-packed Monday in terms of the news, so let's go ahead and hit the news. It is the Mitt Morning Catch.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
This has got to be a record for most breaking news during a show, right?
There's a lot. there's a lot.
It's not like crazy breaking news or anything, but
I don't know. There's a few things in
man.
there that are pretty big deal.
Let's start off with what just happened during our break here. This is for the gamers out there. The college basketball video game by EA Sports will be returning. EA just announced. Not any date yet or anything, but they just announced it's coming back. Obviously, the NCAA college football game came back last summer. Super big hit. The updated version this summer will be coming out in July. But wow, this is a big deal, man. Everyone's been wanting this since the college football game has come back.
You know, it's basically impossible to keep track of what players play for what teams on a year-to-year basis.
This will help.
This legitimately will be my number one. Here's how to figure out what guys are on what team. Method, because
just go to the
game.
game.
Transfer portal's so disastrous that I'll probably just end up playing this as soon as it comes out and learn the rosters and who's where from there.
Right. I mean, it's a
crazy,
good way of doing it.
Hey,
it's gonna be pretty fun.
They say video games can't teach you anything.
Right. And then the other news we found during this break, the Tigers are sending 3 players to the Futures All-Star game. Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, and Josue Briseño.
And the
all who
Loons
currently play for the West Michigan Whitecaps.
Loons sending DePaula and Hope.
Yeah. Pretty sick. 5 of those guys playing at Dow Diamond this week.
4th of July is going to be crazy here.
It is. It's going to be so
crazy.
fun. And then Bluey's coming, baby. I was just waiting for your response.
I have none.
Okay, and then let's wrap up the other breaking news that happened earlier. In total, this Pittsburgh Steelers-Miami Dolphins trade. The Dolphins get Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 5th-round pick. The Steelers get Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, and a 2027 7th-round pick. Weirdest trade ever.
You do not see player-for-player trades in the NFL. And you have 3 players being exchanged in this pick, or in this trade, and a 7th and a 5th being just thrown in there. I don't understand what Pittsburgh is doing by giving up not even capital, giving up Minkah Fitzpatrick to acquire 2 players not as good as Minkah Fitzpatrick.
And it sounds like the Jonnu trade was a separate thing, so it's not like they had to give up Minkah to get Jonnu. No idea.
At the end of the day,
going on here.
they traded away 1 player for 2 players that are not as good as that 1 player. So what do you do?
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. And then the other breaking news that happened earlier in the show, Detroit will be getting a WNBA team as well as 5 new WNBA teams expected by 2030. Cleveland will join in 2028, Detroit and Philadelphia in 2029, and then Toronto and Portland in 2030.
This is, to me, is kind of the biggest news of the day so far. Detroit's getting another professional sports team.
And just 5 teams getting added,
it's the fastest growing league in the world, with all these new players coming in. And you know how you go to, when the Pistons sucked, you'd pick a game to go to based on who was in town. I'm thinking about it now, and I'm probably going to embrace this Detroit team. I hope it's the Shock. I hope the return of the Detroit Shock is in the future. I might have to pull the I'm going to see Caitlin Clark card. You know what I mean? When she's in town, it's kind of must see TV, right? Or must go in person.
I will go to that. I love the Shock. I love the team. I'll root for them.
If it's even the Shock.
Caitlin Clark once.
We want this to be the Shock, right? We don't want a new name.
Of course we want this to be
the
Shock.
It's like Seattle. If they got another basketball team, I think they just want the Supersonics. That's such
I think they should be something else.
The Supersonics have such a sick name, though. That's such a cool name.
Yeah, but technically the Thunder own the Supersonics history, and I hate all the overlap of that stuff. Because then the NBA is just going to give it back to Seattle. It makes no sense. All right, moving on. This weekend, we had a lot of non-traditional sports going on, including the big-time fight in the UFC. Ilia Topuria, first-round knockout on Charles Oliveira, now winning a belt in 2 different divisions. Were you watching this fight, Ben?
Oh, yeah. I'm a big UFC guy. This was crazy. So I bet on this to go the distance because I was like, Topuria, Ilya's, up in weight class. This is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for him. I get it. He dominated the the featherweight division for so long, but this is going to be a little bit different. He's going against a seasoned veteran in Charles Oliveira. Nope. Topuria disgusting, man. Disgusting. We talked about it last week. The UFC is in desperate need of a new face to kind of represent and put in on their posters and everything. They should be using this guy. This guy is
undefeated. Has
17-0, undisputed champ. And you know what the undisputed champ does, right, Kyle?
Wins.
He does what he wants. He does what he wants, in the wise words of Conor McGregor, who's
and
the last guy.
And he's beaten a lot of really good
titles.
Fighters as well. Like beating Volk in the previous division, now beating Oliveira. Definitely, I could see the face of the league thing.
This is the guy now. This is the guy. Sorry, Pereira. Life moves on.
All right, let's go through a bunch of NBA free agency news that happened. Let's first start off with the sad news. Maybe sad news. LeBron James opts into his $52 million player option, potentially meaning this could be the last season of LeBron James.
You know what's even sadder than it being the last season of LeBron James, potentially? The fact that there's someone out there right now celebrating it and happy we just read that it could be the last thing. More than
someone. Yeah.
That's the more sad
greatness.
part.
Man.
Truly.
Honestly, I feel bad for those people because they live terrible lives.
I agree.
You know? That's how I feel.
Don't be such a hater,
But then a bunch of other NBA news. The Portland Trailblazers last night, or maybe it was early this morning, I don't know, I woke up to it. They bought out DeAndre Ayton. So he's going to become a free agent. Definitely not some outstanding center or anything, but was once a max player in this league, was a center on a team that went to the finals, and now will be able to sign, likely for super cheap, with whatever team he wants.
You mean the Lakers?
I mean the Lakers.
Yeah, when he becomes a Laker?
Yes.
They're in desperate need of a center. It's too good of a match.
You talked about this one earlier. James Harden re-signing with the Clippers, 2-year, $82 million deal. $40 million a year for James Harden in 2025.
Yeah, I'm just so set.
He wasn't all.
Hey,
he was all NBA last year.
That's fine. He can put up the stats and have great regular seasons. I'm not saying he's not a great player, but when it comes to the playoffs and like picking the Clippers to beat any actual Western Conference contender,
right?
You're handcuffing yourself to the floor because you will not hit the ceiling. You can't with James Harden. You just won't. And we've seen that for over a decade now.
A big reason why Nickeil Alexander-Walker is potentially in the Pistons talk is because they have paid to bring back two of their guys. First, Naz Reid, who was a guy the Pistons reportedly had their eye on. But he'll be going right back to Minnesota. 5-year, $125 million deal. Pretty good deal for Naz, I would say. And then an even better deal, they re-signed Julius Randle, 3-year, $100 million. I think this is a great deal for Julius Randle, right? Just over $30 million a year for him. Like, a guy like him probably would want closer to that $40 million number. It's a pretty good job by Minnesota.
Yeah, I think it's a team-friendly deal. Unfortunately for Randle, he wasn't... He turned in some tape. They were like, Randle, this is only the playoffs. And he was like, correct. Because he balled...
He finally stepped up.
He balled out in the playoffs.
For the first time in his career, too. Always been a bad playoff guy.
But then they showed him all the tape of the regular season, and they were like, we can't quite give you $40 million a year.
Yeah, we can't give you 50, man.
Yeah,
How
sorry.
about 30?
I think it's a good deal.
And then last up, potentially something for the Pistons to keep an eye on because someone from that 2022 class has been extended. Jabari Smith of the Houston Rockets, 3rd overall pick of that draft. 5-year, $122 million rookie extension. Obviously, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, both eligible to be paid a similar contract to this offseason.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I like Jabari. Do you remember that Summer League game? This is a deep cut. And if there's anyone out there listening...
Yeah, he was killing James Wiseman.
Oh, my God.
And said
I thought
Jabari
Smith was going to be the next best player in the NBA after that Summer League game. It was his second year. It was like Ivy versus Jabari
yeah.
in a Summer League game for the sickos that love it.
No, it turned out to be Jabari versus James Wiseman.
It turned out to be, hey, Jabari drops his nuts on the entire Pistons Summer League team. That was in it. He had like 37 and a buzzer beater that game, didn't he? Talk about someone with balls.
Yeah. He was going off.
Like one of the best Summer League games I think I remember watching in a long time. 989-837-6125. Two traditions to close out the show when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. with Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland. So last night, we all watched Tarik Skubal on national television tear up the Twins. He goes 7 innings scoreless, 13 strikeouts, and just dominated in front of a national audience. And it really had me thinking, not last season for the Lions, but the season prior when they started to get a few national television games, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and obviously the Lions have always been on Thanksgiving, but really not just Lions fans, but NFL fans and football fans in general really started to fall in love with the Lions because of their presence on national TV. Now, this is obviously not a dig at Tarik Skubal because he's been really good for much longer than just right now, but it has me wondering, is this maybe the turning point where not just Tigers fans, not just, diehard baseball fans, more of a casual Major League Baseball and baseball fan audience are really going to start to fall in love with Tarik Skubal based off of the dominance that he showed today? We all know about the grittiness that the Tigers showed in last year's playoffs, and now they're following it up this season with being the best team in the American League, tied for the best record in Major League Baseball right now. The emotion and passion that Tarik Skubal shows on the mound, doing it on ESPN last night, just making a statement that he's going for back-to-back Cy Youngs. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brandon Scott at Scott Family Dental in Midland. As someone who was born and raised here, I would like to introduce myself by offering my services as your family dental provider. At Scott Family Dental, our mission is to provide excellent and personalized care using the latest technologies and best practices. Our highly trained and personable staff ensure you will feel comfortable along the way.
Dr. Scott is accepting new patients at 2509 West Wackerly Street next to the US 10 on-ramp. Scott Family Dental, let's bring out your best smile together.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. If you are a business or a nonprofit organization wondering how to navigate today's technologies landscape, let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
Celebrate 4th of July with the Great Lakes Loons. Join us for our block party on Main, presented by the Michigan Army National Guard. Celebrate America's independence with face painting, balloon animals, the inflatable zone on the front lawn, and of course, America's pastime. The evening wraps up with a spectacular Fireworks Loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. For tickets, visit loons.com. This isn't just baseball. It's the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, for the most passionate fans in Michigan. Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters?
Yeah.
100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
We gather together in communities across the nation to remember and honor, to celebrate and support, to light the night. We are LLS, and when we walk, cancer runs. Find your local event at lightthenight.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, it's been a busy day here on the Ben Bosscher Show. I'm sorry, Kyle. I did it again. My fault.
Yeah, it's okay, bro.
It's been a busy show. Tarik Skubal just is a demon yesterday against the Twins. That's the best way I can say it. This guy was destroying Minnesota. We've got Beasley now under investigation for some gambling stuff from before his time in Detroit, with NBA free agency opening up tonight. We did our stock exchange earlier, Monday tradition. Now we've got our two traditions that we do to close out every single show, with the first of them being the lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, back-to-back wins after being pretty cold there for a week and a half.
Yeah, we're on a 6-game losing streak, 6-day losing streak. But back-to-back wins, like you said. So currently all-time, you are down 1.76 units. Not terrible.
Not
on the
bad.
week last week, you ended up going down 0.44 units, so just under half of a unit. Not terrible. 8-13 on the all-time record. You are in an opportunity to break some records here for Lock of the Day.
What would that
Your
be?
longest win streak is 2 days. So
okay,
you've tied it right now. You can break it. You've done 2 days a few times, but never gotten to 3 yet. Which is that's kind of sad.
Yeah,
you can't hit 3
thanks,
days
Kyle,
in a row,
thanks.
man. You hit 2 days in a row and just start going crazy.
Get a little too aggressive?
Yeah,
well, tell me if this is too aggressive.
Okay.
One of the most exciting players in baseball right now, Chase Burns, pitched at Dow Diamonds earlier this year and got skyrocketed up the Reds farm system. Had a pretty great debut versus those Yankees. Struck out a lot of veteran bats, to the point where right now his over-under is set at 6.5 for strikeouts today against Boston. Boston is one of the teams that strikes out more than anybody in baseball. They've got Garrett Crochet on the mound. Now, I thought about doing a little bit of a nerfy, no hits, no runs in the first inning, but Burns, as much as he strikes people out, also is known to give up the long ball once in a while because he's got the heat. I'm saying Burns has a pretty good day out in Fenway, and at plus 126, I'm saying no one on this team has seen his stuff. He's in that phase that Skeens was in last year, where it was just like, I'm just throwing as hard as humanly possible for the foreseeable future until someone tells me to stop. He's so young that no one's going to tell him to stop this year. So I think we get another epic Chase Burns performance. I'm going over 6.5 strikeouts for plus 126 odds. I think that's pretty good value.
That is pretty good. I'm trying to decide if I want to tail this or not. Like, he had the 8 Ks, obviously, in his first game. It was against a really good Yankees lineup. Struck out like the first 5 batters or whatever. Yeah, I think I'll tail this one. I think I like this pick to hit 3 straight days and get you almost back above 500 all time as well. This is the last pick of June, by the way. So this decides your June fate right here.
I like that. I don't know how I feel about putting my June fate in the hands of a rookie.
Well, you're down either way, so
you know how we got out of the slump is we started betting on goats. We bet on Ohtani. We bet on Caitlin Clark, even though Caitlin Clark didn't end up playing.
Chase
but the Fever
Burns
did.
goat.
No, now we're just like, here's a rookie.
Yeah,
Here's a guy who's played one game.
You hit a couple things in a row and you just start crumbling.
Because that was legitimately the thought process when we had lost 6 in a row. Thursday, I was like, I'm just like Ohtani bomb. Just like
right when you had lost
come
6 in a row,
through. Yes. I was Ohtani bomb, please. For the love of God, please just save us, you majestic baseball player. And he sure enough did. Then it was, let's just get another goat working. Caitlin Clark did it. Now our money lies in the hands of Mr. Burns. So that is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
It's really my lock of the day. Kyle doesn't like when I include we in this conversation.
Unless you start like hitting at a really high clip.
Oh, then
it can be ours.
Attached.
Yeah.
Then it's 100.9 the Mitt's lock
for
of the day.
sure.
All right. The other tradition we have to close out the show is predicting the one, the only Colin Cowherd's Open, who takes over our airwaves at noon. We're 10 minutes away from that happening. What are the updated standings on who's been better at predicting the Open for the show? So I actually don't know where this is.
We were pretty hot for a while. We went back and forth. We hit on 8 straight days. Thursday and Friday, both L's. Friday, he led with Ace Bailey talk, which I predicted that to be Thursday, so just a day off. You're up 7-4 right now in the Guessing Collins Open. We've hit 11 out of 20 days.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good, man.
At the beginning, we thought we were hitting once a week, which is basically what we did for 2 weeks.
Above 500 right now for someone getting it. You are up first today, which I'm upset about.
Okay.
Because today's a good day to go first.
Is it? There's so much happening.
There is, and I don't want to say anything because I think there's an obvious pick. So I'm just going to, this is all you.
Caitlin Clark should be back tonight. I don't think it's her. That Steelers trade was actually wild. But I don't know if he leads with a quarterback situation, non-TJ Watt situation. Like, hey, these washed up players got traded. Maybe. Am I missing something pretty obvious here from yesterday? It's not like he's leading with the Tigers. Sunday Night Baseball, even though Skubal's... Am I missing something? You said the pick is obvious, and now I feel like I'm overthinking this. Oh my God, I'm gonna feel so stupid if I say something and then you come back and
no, it's not that.
No, it's LeBron.
Am I getting in your head?
No, it's LeBron talk. It's LeBron James opting in, potentially being the last year.
Yeah.
You're the one that bought stock on it, so I think I just stole your pick, didn't I?
Yeah, you did, but I was almost expecting you to take that, so I'm cool with taking this other thing.
Okay.
It is LeBron talk, though.
Love me some LeBron talk.
But you talk about there's no quarterback TJ Watt stuff with the Steelers. It's Colin Cowherd, man. He's relating this trade to Aaron Rodgers one way or another.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Rodgers wanted Jonnu Smith.
Well,
he told the front office
the Steelers are going all in because of Aaron Rodgers. That's what I'm going to go with. Just the Steelers are making this crazy play to be good this year. What are they doing? What do they actually think they're going to win? I think it's one of those two things. I think he is going to talk about the Beasley stuff just because it is big NBA news.
WNBA expansion definitely.
I was just going to say that too.
Could be brought up in the first hour.
A lot of options today. I would be shocked though if one of ours is not what hits.
We shall see.
But it's probably LeBron talk.
We shall see. You shave your mustache. What happened?
I did, man.
The people on the YouTube were wondering.
Are they actually really?
No, I was though.
Okay. I legitimately, I got out of the shower Saturday morning. Was like, I'm going to Grand Rapids tonight. I'm going out to the beach. I'm gonna shave my mustache. And I just did.
There was no logic or reasoning. You were just
it was legitimately I wasn't planning on doing it. I just got out of the shower, looked in the mirror, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go babyface. Wasn't the play.
Oh, you regret it?
Already regret it.
Why?
I don't know. It's just
did the no mustache play work?
The two or 3 days of being completely babyface before the stubble really starts to come in are brutal, man.
Yeah, no, totally. I totally relate to that. Do you ever go up to kind of brush it and then you forget it's not there?
Oh, I've been touching my lip nonstop for the last 48 hours.
Interesting. Did the no mustache play get you any luck in Grand Rapids?
No,
did it work?
No. I mean, it was mainly a beach thing. It was you know what? I want to just shave my whole face, get the sun everywhere. That was kind of the play.
I think the ladies like the mustache these days, though.
See, they're either all in on it or they're all out on it.
Wouldn't that mean it's either beard and mustache or just...
No.
No? Okay.
Some girls really like just the mustache look, and the other ones think, I'm out on anyone who's got that. So I was trying to take the route of number 2 there.
I do not have the option, fortunately or unfortunately.
Maybe someday.
For me.
Maybe that's a good thing, honestly.
Yeah. Less decisions, usually better. All right, that's basically going to do it for us today. Appreciate everyone who decided to tune in today. We will be back again tomorrow and, of course, every day this week. Hey, big announcement. You know what? Screw it. I'll just do it right now. Every Wednesday the rest of the summer, we're giving away Comerica Park tickets, Tigers tickets. See the hottest team in baseball. So if you want to go to Comerica Park, you have to listen to the Ben Bosscher Show on Wednesdays. and I think 10:15, 10:30 is basically when we're going to be giving those away on a weekly basis every single day for the rest of the summer. That's one thing I'm super
How come
pumped
you
up.
not get in on that?
Yeah, no kidding.
Best team in baseball.
Best team in baseball and just an electric atmosphere every single game.
Yeah, I mean, you were
there.
there. You can test for it.
It was. I can't believe it took me that long to go see them. Usually I'm there the first month of the season, but it was worth the wait because that place has become one of the best atmospheres in baseball without a doubt. Comerica Park, special place this summer. All right, we will be back tomorrow. Hopefully the Pistons are able to land a couple free agents tonight. Hopefully the Tigers enjoy their day off before they get to take on Washington and then a big series against Cleveland in the second half of this week. All right, that's basically going to do it for us. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. Once again, always like to echo that because we really do appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. That was the Ben Bosscher Show. Hope it was worth it. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on